Going live. Going live. We are live.
Yay! Did it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yeah, I think that frame rate, yeah. We're looking at this over RDP, so the frame rate looks terrible. I'm like, no, trust the system. It should be working fine. Anyway, yes, hello, everyone. Oh, yeah, we are a couple of minutes late, but yeah. In my I didn't forget to lock the front door, but there was still someone at the front door going, oh, are you open? I'm like, no. Anyway, hello, Spud Nugget, how you doing? Echo on mic. There is no echo, and there never was. Caradog and I were just having a conversation about this, and Caradog said, I looked at the VOD. I don't know what people were talking about. There was no echo. So, yeah. Anyway.
Because, yeah, I listened back to... Also, I'm clipping crazy.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hold on.
There's always something.
I'm just going to turn this off.
Okay.
And then, right, we have 1 meter.
That's me, yeah.
Yeah, but also, look how high I'm picking up on your microphone right now. Which is higher than normal, so that's interesting. It's fine. I now can't turn this off.
You got to hold it down for longer. It's just a bit longer than you think it is. Anyway,
double check the gain's not like 100 decibels by accident.
Oh, that was the mute button. Gain 10 is what we were running last week. Yeah, and 10 was working. I think it's fine. Try speaking again.
Hello.
Yeah, see if you're normal. I think it was just then because it's just now and then if you suddenly engage broadcaster mode and go, you see, that's when it peaks a bit, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just talking normally. Yeah,
it just peaked again.
Yeah, it's going all over the damn place.
What the hell? Okay, fine. I guess I'll turn you down slightly. All right.
And now I will talk in a normal voice. Oh, good. I'm not clipping.
That's weird. Whatever. And you're picking up crazy on the mic. Yes, that will happen because the mics are this close together. That cannot be fixed with the kind of setup that we run. There will always be crosstalk between mics, but the idea is because they're being recorded to the same place, you can't hear it because there's no lag or echo kind of thing.
Or at least, they basically shouldn't be.
Yeah. Anyway, the echo last week was a lie, and
well, it was certainly a case of I could not hear it either on my phone or on my desktop.
Yeah.
So, uncertain.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, I will. If anyone says there's echo, I'm going to be like, okay, can a moderator confirm? Because I don't trust any of you all now. So, enforce COVID distancing for proper audio. Yes.
It's okay. I'll just be all the way over here.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Anyway, hello everyone. How are we all doing?
I have a solution to this sound problem.
Oh no. Ah.
There we go. The sound is now solved.
As is the COVID restrictions. We should have done this while we were still in lockdown. Just sat at the same desk with a barrier between us, just for good measure.
Just with a massive screen.
Yeah.
Case.
Anyway, yes. Hello, everyone. So we have a show for you today. I really want to say, we've got a fantastic show lined up for you today, but that's just what Viner says on the WAN show, and I don't want to steal WAN show stuff.
Also, inferring that it is fantastic applies an expectation of quality.
I like the WAN show.
If I do that, there we go.
Yeah, Caradog has joined the Mac Owners Club. He's going to be a snobby Mac owner. Oh, I guess I'm running on battery now because it just dropped out the back. Anyway.
There you go.
Yes, Spud Nugget works at a place, and
Which is good.
Yeah,
it's good to have a job.
He has some purpose in society.
Oof.
Anyway, and they were getting rid of a lot of new old stock cases, and a very desirable retro case got thrown out, and there was much discourse in the Discord, and then this one came up, and I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm going to do with this, but I'm going to buy it because otherwise it's going to get thrown out. And my God, if someone threw out a brand new in box Lianli X1000, that would be a crime. That would just, my God. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I thought let's unbox this and look at it because I first got into modded PCs in 2002, 2001, maybe 2001, 2002, around that era. And that was the era of Lianli versus Cooler Master. Because back then, Cooler Master made really hecking good aluminium cases. I've showed off my ACTS on the show before. I still have one. And I've always preferred Cooler Masters to Lianlis, but you got to respect Lianli because they did make these huge aluminium behemoths. And a brand new in-box one, this is not common. And I'm just like, I really want to unbox this on the show and just look at it.
Oh, God. It's 23 centimeters by 67 centimeters by 39 centimeters.
It's tall, this thing. Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Like, the actual dimensions aren't that big. It's just tall.
Yeah.
That's what got me about this one. And yeah, like, but in a way, I kind of like that because for the use case that I'm probably going to apply to this, I would rather it be tall than dimensionally big. I wouldn't use this as a daily.
I'd rather it be tall than its dimensions be big.
I mean, I'd rather it be tall than wide. Yeah.
Or deep. Okay.
Yeah. I like height, not depth.
Very well.
And yeah, apparently it's a HTPC case, but yeah, I think at some point Lianli thought, oh yeah, someone's just going to have one of these sitting next to their television. Do you remember when HTPCs were going to be the next big thing, and then they just weren't?
I kept wanting to do something with one because it would have solved so many of the problems that I had at home at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just never happened.
Yeah.
And it was a case where I was also like, oh God. And then I have to teach my parents how to use Media Center on XP. And I was just like, do you know what's even easier? I just tell them, no, it's not possible. There is no solution to this issue. Terribly sorry. Come back to me in 15 years' time when streaming platforms exist.
Yes. Right. No time like the present. Let's get started.
Do you have a knife?
I was about to use something that's not a knife, but I'll actually get a blade. Here we go. That'll do. Right. See, I'm looking forward to the out-of-box experience for this because just to see like what spares it comes with and what accessories are in the box and stuff like that. Because I think the only other time when I would have unboxed a case like this was when I originally unboxed my my Cooler Master, and that was 20 years ago when I was only a small child,
as opposed to a large child.
Yes. Oh wow, that's tall. All right, are we going to try and lift this, or are we going to do the turn it over strategy?
It depends if there's something you can grab. Oh, there was something you can grab.
Hang on a sec. It's surprisingly light.
There you go.
Ow.
Oh,
static. Yeah.
I just felt it ripple up my arms as my hairs moved. I was like,
oh! You can feel it in your hands going, oh. Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure the polystyrene weighs about the same as the case.
Yeah. I think this was one of the advantages of the Lianli cases. They were actually lighter because despite being made of aluminium, these cases are actually quite heavy just because there's so much metal in them. Because other cases at the time were just tin boxes, so they didn't weigh a lot because there was nothing to them. Whereas these cases actually ended up being quite heavy.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, rustling is complete.
That's so light. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be a big, heavy beast, but yeah, it's so tall. I can't get over how tall this thing is.
That's such a weird shape.
Look at the size of that. Is that a 140 or bigger?
I think it's a 140.
Yeah, like that's very early for 140 as well. I thought it'd be 120s. See, that's the other thing that's kind of got me excited about this case, because I am considering actually using it. Where are my calipers? What I was interested in, I thought it had one.
Here.
Oh yeah, I thought it had 120s on the back, which would have been interesting because a lot of cases from this era, all of the aluminium cases, were all 80mm fans, which makes them not very usable today. But because this looked like it had 120s on, I was like, oh, look at that. You can actually put modern fans in this. Yeah, those are 140mm fans. This is 2009, this case, so it's actually newer than you'd expect it to be. But even still, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that being
A lot of these aluminium cases did that.
and then them being silver, but the case being a black case.
Yeah, how many extra accessories are you going to make? Right. That unscrews, and then pull, and then that comes off. Oh, that is just a sheet of aluminium, brushed aluminium. I miss brushed out. Well, actually, you know what? I don't miss brushed aluminium, but it's a product of its time. I don't know how I feel about this case. It's
There are vibration
super cool.
mounts on the fan grills, and they're still soft.
Yeah,
So that's good.
Well, it was sealed, I guess, wasn't it? I mean, this thing is. I mean, this, as I say, it's 2009 case. It's not that old.
Oh yeah, but it's just a fact of good. They're still soft.
Yeah, this is true.
Triple 140. It's a modern Meta airflow case.
Well, because it's got dual 140s there. Has it got mounts
not.
for 120s? Yeah, the one. But what I was going to say is, can you put an AIO in this? That's can
Just mount a 280.
Yeah, but also like basically my consideration. I mentioned this just before we started, but my consideration is, am I going to use this here? Am I going to replace this Corsair 220 with this because it'll have lots of hard drive mounts and cool stuff like that in, and just be a funky computer to have there? It's weird how they've just put hard drive cages here, there, and everywhere. I'm going to get the bench cam on the go, just so you guys can get a side shot on this while we're exploring it, because it's difficult to explore it and show you at the same time. Let me just see what this guy can see at the moment. Oh, my nose was the answer to that.
Hello.
Let me just focus.
Yeah, it's... I'm looking at this going, very impressive. However, at the same time, I kind of feel like you could have stopped the case here and still had about the same amount of usable space.
I'm not really sure why this needed to be a quote-unquote full tower height.
But yeah,
There we go, that'll
that's
do.
cool though.
Right, also I need to make the chat bigger because I can't heckin' see it.
You can get 6 hard drives in there.
There we go. Well, 6, we've got the 2.5 down the bottom as well. However, 6 is, well, no, that's a modest amount of hard drives, actually,
but just statement, you can get 6 hard drives.
I was about to say, that's not very many considering it's a pull tab, but also, it's not very deep, is it?
Because, you'd expect to have another set like there.
Yeah, but other cases of the time,
expect
it would have stuck out to here and had a full height drive cage.
There.
Yeah. Put a Raspberry Pi in the top bay, yeah. What goes in the large top rear area? This hard drive cage does.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised it doesn't have mounts for a second power supply up there. But I don't know. This is what's this case for? I suppose it says it's for a gaming or HTPC. And I think that's why I'm not seeing, like, because it's a tall case, you just immediately assume that it's designed to be a workstation case. Yet at the same time, it's designed to be a gamer case. And I can't get this camera at a decent angle, so please excuse me while I fiddle with it.
No.
All right, that'll do.
I can't undo that with my thumb.
So yeah. For anyone who needs 10 plus 3.5. Well, that's the thing. It only actually holds 6, which is not that many.
Oh, I see.
Good for a small office server.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. How tall is it? Where is my... I'm going to find my... Oh, I've just spotted the tape measure.
67 centimetres.
Oh, yeah, of course. We knew that from the bloody spec, didn't we?
However,
Yeah.
you won't have any problems with GPU sag.
Yeah. Spud Nugget, can you confirm what the audio is like? Because people are still telling us the audio is bad, but they were telling us the audio was bad at the end of the last stream, and when we went back and checked, it was fine. So, yeah. There's going to be some clinks and clanks because we're opening up a case. But, yeah. It's bad on my mic only. Bad how? Slight reverb. Okay, I don't believe you. Or at the very least, I don't believe it's probably an issue.
Turn down your gain slightly.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look.
Also turn off the noise suppression.
Yeah, maybe the noise suppression is introducing the lag. Maybe that's it. Let's try that.
Also, have a piece of
Yeah.
whatever that is.
No. Yeah, because as I say, everyone was telling us that it was awful at the end of the last stream, and when we went back and checked, there was nothing wrong with it. That's why I'm skeptical.
That's nice though.
So yeah. Oh wow, yeah. There's literally a little box of screws. That's super cool. I'm going to turn that on so we've got the, not that one. Where's the, I don't know what we've got available to us right now actually. Oh, that's the one I'm looking for. There's the front mic, or front cam even. There we go.
Really long mounting screws for something? It comes with a speaker. Nice.
Yeah. Yes, it is the. Yeah, the case used to come with the speaker, not the motherboard. I think. I forget. It's been a long time since I've actually cared. These, they must. What are those going to be for?
No.
Unless they're for PCI mountings, they're PCI supports or something like that, as in to support the release, because there's some kind of quick release mechanism here.
And then there's an empty bag.
Ah. Very well then.
I know. And 2 zip ties.
Very well. I like that screw box it's come with. That's a really nice touch. Oh yeah, I think those fit in here somehow. Can there stop being distractions today? This is a very distraction stream. There we go. The phone is getting buried, so it can no longer phone. Yeah, those must. I don't know. We could read the manual as a special treat.
How does this help me?
So so that goes in there, right? So
Yeah.
are these anti-sag supports? I think they're anti-sag brackets. I don't know why you need a full height of those, but yeah, I think they're card supports. See, we weren't planning on building a computer in this, but I think you'd have to actually really get a understanding of a lot of these things.
But yes, I'm very much just looking at this going, I have no idea what this swivelly bit of black plastic is for.
Should put those modern Lianli fans in it. Well, yeah, as I say, I kind of want to OEM plus this case and just like deck it out with modern stuff, or, you know, as I say, at least the stuff that I've got in the computer behind me, because I think it would look really cool. And I think this case is just too interesting to leave in a box. but at the same time, because a while back we showed off the other Lianli that had all the old modding stuff in it, and I was kind of excited to be in possession of that case, but also that case has been cut up quite a lot, so I was kind of thinking, oh, I like this case, but it's not in good condition, whereas now I've got a Lianli that's brand new out of the box, and I'm just like, oh, now I want to do something with this. I just want to build something in it at the very least.
Yeah, because it can go there or there. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so it can move back and forth. Yeah. Yeah, personally, I would probably... Well, no, it's a solid side panel, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. Yeah. Although, again, if I were running this case, I would be running it with the side panel off because I plug stuff into this computer a lot. It's a test rig, effectively. So, yeah.
This is going to sound like a really stupid comment,
Yeah.
but I like that the thread on the screws is actually a decent thread. Because have you found that with modern cases where the thread cut seems to just be all over the place?
Well, also, just like these thumb screws have actually got a tapered tip on them. So they actually line up into the hole and stuff like that. And this is why this case probably cost £200 at least when it was new. I'll be amazed if this case was... I'll be amazed. I would expect this case to be low 200s, $250 kind of thing. Oh, I think that goes behind this thing. Yes, it goes in under. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why that...
I was just like...
That's why you're very confused. Because I was also looking at that going, what have you done there? But yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that's kind of neat. I'm not really sure what else we're looking at with this. I just wanted to get this out and look at it. That was my only objective here. I suppose the only bad thing is the problem with running a modern case like this now is the top I/O is rich for its time. It's got FireWire 400, but also it's got 4 USB 2 ports.
Which are reasonably easy to replace.
Yeah, but there's no... I don't know, it looks like they're all on a PCB. So that one's going to be tricky. I could have a look at it. I think this might be a case of I plug everything into the back of this computer though, which wouldn't be bad. I love the fact that it comes with stealth DVD drive covers. Actually comes with those. That's very cool. Yeah. I really like this. I really want to use it. I think I'm going to try and build in it. I'd have to swap out the AIO though, because I don't think I can mount a 240mm rad there. I think that's 140mm fans only, so I'd need to get a 280mm rad.
You've got one over there, haven't you?
Yeah, it's one of the older ones. I think it works. It'd be fit for purpose at the very least, I think.
As long as you're not running a 5 GHz overclock on that stuff.
Yeah, it'd be fine. That 5 GHz overclock wasn't that leery though, was it?
No, it was surprisingly tame and well-mannered.
Also though, I mean, at some point, if you wanted to dick around with overclocking, we should revisit that. Now we found the... Oh no, that was the other board that we found the super secret overclocking section on. Ignore me.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, okay, well that's kind of interesting. I don't think we're going to do it today, but...
No, possibly we want to look at those other
That's right, yeah, we've got some other computers to diagnose, but possibly a project for like next week or something like that is to case swap this. I'm kind of interested in doing that. Because, yeah, as I said, I didn't want to make up my mind without looking at it, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is really cool and I really like it. It's just, considering how tall this is, so length, it was 39 centimeters deep, and this is 38. It's literally only 10 mil long, 10 mil longer or deeper? Longer.
Width?
Yeah. Width, length.
Length.
Yeah.
No. Width, depth, height.
Yeah. It's only,
WDH,
It's only 10 mil deeper than a Corsair 220T, which is a small case.
Yeah, 10 mil in this length.
And width...
should be similar, shouldn't it?
23.
Because it's not overly wide.
21. It's
Yeah.
it's another 20 mil wider,
It's
but
20
that's,
mil.
yeah,
20 mil that way.
Yeah.
10 mil that way, and then how much in height?
quite a lot.
Well, yes, but
Yeah. So from the desk, this is 45.
and then this is
From the
60.
desk, this is 67.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 20. It's 20 centimeters.
Oh my God, the 220T comes up to there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's like almost 50% higher. However, because the width and the length are so similar, it barely takes up any more room on the desk, which is really cool. It's just an old big case like this. You expect it to have a full height drive cage and be really deep, which is what makes a big case so difficult to manage. And so because big cases, because they're so deep, they don't fit on desks, which is why they're such a pain in the ass. But because this is such a short case, it's still
that's
actually
nice.
kind of cool.
Yeah. And it's got and it's got the little 3-pin fan controller. And that's very nicely integrated. This one.
That's kind of interesting. Don't know if I'd use that or not, because I just PWM everything off of the motherboard.
Oh, of course, but just the case of this is actually very nice.
Yeah, and also this predates actually having well, no, it doesn't predate fan controllers, but it's still very nice to have. What have you spotted?
Yeah.
You're doing that thing where you just go, without explaining
I think it's got a
anything.
removable motherboard tray.
Oh yeah, it might do. That was a party trick that cases of this kind of era would have. Yeah, my Corsair's got a removable motherboard tray, which is always of questionable use.
Absolutely. I just want to see, like, how convenient that is.
It was 300 quid. Bloody hell. Yeah, I thought it'd be pricey. I didn't expect it to be that expensive, but oh, that's quite easy to come out as well. Yeah,
That's cool.
although it doesn't bring out the I/O shield, so you've got to take out all your PCI cards and your.
No, you just have to undo them.
Oh yeah, I suppose yeah.
You just
yeah.
have to undo them.
Yeah, although they wouldn't be supported when you pull it out. As a comparison, my Cooler Master, the entire rear case slides out. You just disconnect all of the cables from the motherboard and the whole shooting match slides out the back.
Yeah.
Which was super hecking cool. But by the time you've unplugged all of the cables, you can just unscrew the motherboard. So
That's actually flat and level. That's cool.
yeah,
So you can actually build on this.
I guess. Yeah.
So you could actually build on that, go, yeah, everything works, GPU out.
I wonder whether that was their intent. Because that's the thing about removable motherboard trays. One of the reasons why you don't see it anymore is when you really come down to it, that it's a question of why is this useful?
Yeah.
It's cool, but why is it useful? You know, again, like I said, my Cooler Master has it. It was never useful because you've got to unplug everything from the motherboard anyway. And by that point, you may as well pull it out. Although it did mean that you didn't have to you just had to unplug the cables. You didn't have to pull them out of the way to clear the motherboard. So, yeah. There you go, test bench. Yeah.
Why is this not quite?
Are there any good cable management facilities in the back? It's got holes, but there's not a lot of space behind the motherboard tray. So it's not great. There are some holes to thread things through, but you'd need to bury all your cables in voids like at the bottom and stuff like that. And then have runs up the back because, yeah, like modern cases have got like an inch behind the motherboard tray.
Yeah.
So you can just squash all your things
You've got
in there.
quite a good hole here
But
as
yeah.
well.
So
you've got there. Is that cam on?
Let me switch to it.
Only because I was going to waggle fingers just to show.
You need to
you've
waggle
got
super hard.
Here,
Yeah.
and then you've got there, and then through here.
Yeah. Turn it around 180 degrees.
Yeah. Which then looks like here,
Yeah.
there, and then in here.
Yeah. So it's got the passages to run the cables, but as I say,
you've got,
there's only
space.
like 10 mil between here and the side panel.
Yeah.
So you can't flatten cables against the back of the motherboard tray like you would on a modern
you could
case.
possibly just about. Oh no, you couldn't EPS, could you? You couldn't EPS up here because there's nowhere at the top to go in.
Yeah. Oh no, you can't. Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, unless you were using braided extensions.
Yeah.
Because then that would obviously give you the length to come out here.
Yeah.
And then go across.
There would be ways around that, but you'll need to get. I'll rephrase that. I'll need to get creative with the EPS cable.
You'll need to be creative in this, just because.
Yeah. Failing that, you know, if I used a braided extension, it wouldn't be a crime to have the EPS cable on show because you've got a nice braided extension.
Yeah, to have the EPS cable come up here.
Yeah. The other way
and
is
then across.
The cheat mode. The cheat mode that I do with the EPS sometimes is if it's not too thick or if you've got a flat EPS cable, you can actually lay it flat against the motherboard and put the PCI cards on top of it, because in that there's a cutout in graphics cards. Oh, there's a cutout in graphics cards here, and you can hide cables in that cutout. So you go, if this is your motherboard, you slot into the motherboard, and there's just enough space to get a cable through there against the motherboard. So that you can get an EPS cable up the entire motherboard length by doing that. So can be done.
Oh.
Anti-Vandal Switch. They don't make them anymore. What do you think of it? Do you like it?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
This is what I miss about old cases. Anti-Vandal switches. Oh, interesting. Oh.
It doesn't feel great,
no.
but like.
Oh, no, that's not a real one. That's a fake anti-vandal switch. It's got a tactile button at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm going to get it because I know it's to hand. I'm going to get the Cooler Master because that's got a genuine anti-vandal switch on it.
But I'm just liking the fact that you've got two different LEDs on here, and you've actually got the two LEDs for power and hard drive access and stuff like that. And also it looks like somehow you can take the back of the case from the top of the case, because there's this seam here.
I think it's riveted on both sides of it, though. I think that's just manufacturing.
But there are screws and stuff like here and things, so I think there is a way of doing it. It's just not useful.
Yeah.
It's just,
at any rate,
interesting.
feel that one.
See, that feels basically the same.
No, it's completely different.
It feels basically the same.
You Mongol, no. You're wrong.
Do you know what you need to do?
That's a proper anti-vandal switch. There's no dome at the bottom of that.
Need?
That's a mechanical anti-vandal switch.
Yeah, but do you know what cases actually need?
What?
Just like MX greens.
Yeah. Oh, you couldn't you? It would be so easy just to actually use a keyboard switch.
But like an MX green or something, just.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll put this to one side. I'm not going to show off my Cooler Master. I've had it on the show a couple of times and gushed about it. No one cares about my Cooler Master.
The other thing that's nice is just how tight the tolerances were for these panels being flat, because.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. You put them against each other and they slide.
Yeah, because they actually air cushion off of each other properly.
Yeah. They're not warped or anything like that. That is just a sheet of aluminium. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. See, that's the thing is, this, as I said, this case was £300.
Oh,
but
no.
You can see why it costs £300. Whether any of this is of value to you per se is debatable. You might look at that and be like, I don't care about any of this.
Black brushed aluminium does look so good though when it's in pristine condition.
Yeah. Like none of this might be of value to anyone, but you can see why this case was so expensive.
Oh, hold on. This passed QC December 2nd, 2009.
Oh yeah, there you go then.
So it was quite late. Basically 2010.
Very cool.
So how does this go back together?
Right, okay. I'm going to read through the chat because I've been ignoring it. Oh, I'm going to switch back to the other camera because when I lean in to look at the chat, I suddenly go,
hello! This is the side of my head.
Here is the end of my nose. Let's see. Use that way. Yes. Why not get creative with the Dremel? I wouldn't
On this?
Not on this.
Definitely not.
No, not on this.
On that one,
Yeah.
which is already scuffed a bit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on the scuffed ones or on my Cooler Master that have already been Dremeled and stuff like that before, yes, without a thought. On this, absolutely not. It's too good. It's there's a time and a place for purity. This is a time for purity. I would absolutely slap LED fans in this, but that's because they're modular fans, and also
and you can very easily unscrew them, take them out, put these ones back in.
And also, I mean, I to be honest, I don't know if I'd keep these because these are 2009 black plastic airflow 3-pin fans. Yeah. Modern fans will blow these out of the water in all, but you know, there's no questions about it. If you want to be pure, you'd replace them all with Noctuas. However, taking a Dremel to it or anything like that, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let's see. There's apparently 3 fan. Oh yes, there is a 3-speed fan controller in this.
Yeah,
I'll quickly show it off.
Show it.
Yeah.
I'll get out of the way in 1 second.
We're going to stop it. Yeah, we're rustling at the moment.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. Hang on a sec. Switching to show it's very subtle.
It
Bench
does.
cam.
It's also just the fact that the metal feels really nice.
There we go. It's literally that guy there. Oh, there's some good lighting. You can see the switch at the back there. And, well, that's actually quite nicely done, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh,
yeah.
That's why I said, oh, actually, it's really quite nice.
Like, it's archaic, but that's actually, it's actually got discrete diode steering on it as well to stop.
There you go.
So yeah, like all Molex, because of course it would be at that point, but that's a lot of outputs on that guy. They're all teed in there. Got another connector there, and look at all this diode steering. I think that is there to prevent any freewheeling fans from back powering to the source. I'd have to have a closer look to see what's going on there, but like this is very over-engineered for what it does compared to a lot of fan controllers. I wouldn't use it because it's very dim-witted. It's just, I mean...
It's just a resistor selector, effectively, isn't it?
Well, there's no resistors there, that's the thing. Unless they're actually dropping voltage through the diodes, that can't be it. They can't be using the diode drop to lower the speed, surely. Because you'll get a 0.5 volt... each diode will drop half a volt. So if you stacked a bunch of diodes together, you will drop a couple of volts off of the fan speed. And now I'm suddenly thinking
But you could only get 3 volts off of that, which would only take you to 9 volts, which is hardly worth bothering with.
Wow, you'd be surprised a lot. You know what, I'm going to take that out and have a quick look, because now I'm just like, what are they doing there? Because it's only got a 12 volt input, so they're not 5 volting or anything like that.
I was going to say, given that the thing was to do like 7 volts and stuff.
Yeah, as I say, there's no 5 volt rail going to it, so they can't 7 volt and they can't 5 volt. So there has to be some resistors on here somewhere. But these are all diodes.
Yeah, unless it happens to be double-sided.
Helps with noise in the sound card. Oh yeah, that would work as well.
What?
Right.
How does having a fan controller help with your sound card? I feel like I missed a...
The diodes are avoiding noise coming onto the power lines.
Oh, I see.
Which might interfere with the sound card. There's nothing else on here except that selector switch.
How bizarre.
So we've got a high, medium, and a low. We've got connectors.
Oh, there's an air filter.
How? That has to be how they're doing it. I don't understand how else this is dropping power. Yeah, these diodes are in series. And are we gonna start going into this? This is not relevant, but at the same time, I'm really curious now. Certainly, for at least one setting, which would have been is that the low setting? That would have been the low setting. It's going through 2. Unless these, I tell you what, these could be Xenas. There might be Xenas or something like that where they're only allowing some voltage through or something. Yeah, it's a Xena diode ladder. Yeah, that's it. That's what's going on. Yeah. So yeah, they're using Xena diodes which allow a certain amount of voltage through. So it's blocked. So that way you can block like half the voltage and stuff like that. That's what they're doing. That makes more sense. The rest of it
to incorrectly phrase the question, where's the rest of the voltage go?
heat.
So yeah, so they get really hot.
Yeah, it's a very inefficient way of doing it. Well, so is a resistor, you know, the Noctua inline resistors that get burning hot because anything that's not going into the fan goes into heat.
Yeah.
But
I actually gave myself burns from one of those.
Yes.
Like with a blister.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, the operating temperature of stuff like that would be, oh, that's nice. That comes out on a plate. I see what you're up to there. The operating voltage of components would be like up to 80 degrees, which, yeah, that'll give you...
But I just like the fact that these are on clips to get these off. Oh, good Lord. But to get these off, you have to undo 4 thumb screws from in here. This side, you can't get a screwdriver in. You have to go in from the inside to get the screwdriver in.
Yeah.
So when you initially torque them, you have to make sure you don't do them too tight.
Yeah. So
and I'm like...
One of
good
designs,
Lord.
Yeah. One of those designs where they advertise it as having removable filters, and you're like, yeah, but it's not really, is it? If I have to disassemble the case, it's not really removable.
I just still am amazed by how light each part is.
180. The whole assembly is the wrong way around.
No, these came out there.
Yeah, but that would make them blowing out the front.
Oh, sorry, that way.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's 180. That's 180.
Put the fans back in the case, Caradog.
Your directions of rotations were confusing me.
You're confusing.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, these were huge fans for 2009. Yeah, big time. That's why I was so shocked at them being 140s when we opened this up. I thought they'd be 120s. Because 120s, it'd be a case of, yeah, well, we were on 120mm by that time. But 140, yeah. Whoops. When did 140mm fans start becoming a thing? Fairly late, really. Like, a lot of people are still running 120s, but then all cases have had 140mm mounts for a long time, but still. Right, let's switch cameras, because we're on a really unhelpful camera right now. Right, we're going to put this back together again. I think we're going to put it away. Yeah, this is definitely being seen again. I'm gonna swap the Corsair back here into this case, and I think we'll do that next week because I want to build in this and just I don't like we can see it's got flaws in it, but as a set piece though, oh those LEDs are kind of nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
The way they just stick out the front there, so they've got a wide viewing angle and yeah.
Also, just the fact there's 2 of them.
Yeah, the buttons are disappointing. The top I/O is disappointing, but
this looks like it's replaceable though. Just because there are 2 screws and you can drop the entire thing.
Oops, sorry, I nearly stabbed you in the face there. But also, just this flap is just a bit. Nah, it's just not. There's not a lot of
it
design.
does go flash. Flush.
Well, yeah, kind of, but it's got all these bumps on it and stuff. Just yeah. I'll get a shot of that in a sec, just so you guys can see what we're talking about. The top panel is a bit. It's not indicative of the rest of the case, really.
Also, the gaps around here.
Yeah.
So again, it's a case of nitpicking, but also it was a £300 case.
That's right. Yeah. Like this is the kind of considering the machining that's gone into everything else. You're like these parts are disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Doesn't look like the fan mounts are close enough to come together. Ooh, you might be right there.
The fan mounts are close enough to come together?
There's a couple of mil between the fans, which means a radiator might not bolt on there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do, but you'd have to possibly 2-screw it and have it as slightly askew.
Yeah, that would be one way around it.
To effectively give you extra height.
Yeah, that would be one way around it. Failing that, I would take a Dremel to the fan mount holes and just make them slightly oval in order to fix that, because that would be completely invisible and it would enable mounting radiators on the front of that. I don't think that would be an egregious modification because it would be completely invisible and improve the quality of life on the case.
Yeah. The other question that would be is, how hard would it be to get replacement side panels? Not like OEM original, but just sheets of metal that fit in properly. Because then you could cut up a piece of metal and have a side panel, a window on it.
Yeah.
Also, I have not lined this up properly.
You haven't got the other side one, have you? By any chance? No, that would be that
No.
one. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just because I definitely wouldn't cut these,
No.
but like,
If you could, if you could commission a replica to be made, you could then cut that up
yeah.
and mount a thing on it. I'm going to get a shot of the top IO just to show people what that looks like. I might have to go flying cam here. Yeah,
I'll tilt it in a second.
I'll just flying cam it.
Whoop.
Oh no! Why is that sideways? Help me!
Put that thing back where it came from. Also, help me.
Yeah, I might abandon this anymore. All right, hang on a sec. Transform. Counterclockwise. No, where are you going? Where?
Oh dear.
Help. Okay, we're coming back. I should have abandoned this and just gone back to another camera. Okay, there we go. There's the top IO. So, yeah, here's the top IO. So you can see how we've got this little flap here. There's the USB ports. Heckin' Firewire 400. Oh, that's eSATA as well for the 10 people who used eSATA. Are you ruining my life now? Okay, hold up. Carado
I
wants
said
to
I
tilt
will
it.
angle it in a second.
I was being impatient. Angle it more. All right, there we go. eSATA for the 10 people that use that. Firewire 400. USB 2, disappointing. But also just, this folds flat and you that kind of goes in there and then it sits flush, but it's got these bumps on it. It's just, nah, I don't like this. The buttons, no. I appreciate that there was an attempt for anti-vandal buttons, but they're not very good. That's disappointing. That could be so much nicer than it actually is, but So yeah. Anyway, we went on a wild ride there. Right. If we commissioned a replica, get the shot to cut out the window opening. Yeah, that's what we would do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I meant when I said that. Sorry, I meant I would have a replica made with a cutout.
Yes.
Not
yes.
I would have a replica made and then cut it out.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple of people that used eSATA. Not many, though. Right, hang on a sec. We're going to rustle and cover this up. Oh. Sorry, everyone. I hope the limiter caught that.
Rustle, rustle, rustle.
Yeah. We're putting it back in the box? Yeah, we'll put it back in the box. Right, are these coded back and front?
I don't
They look identical.
think so.
No. That one looks slightly more complicated, so I'm guessing it's the back. All right.
There you go.
Squeaky, squeaky.
Haha.
Okay, we're done being noisy.
Maybe.
Plastic explosion. What are anti-vandal buttons? So anti-vandal switches, it's the terminology for a type of switch that you see on public use kiosks. So like go to a ticket machine in a car park and you have to push the button and it's like a silver button that has a really nice action to it. And the idea is like you can punch it and hit it and smash it and it won't break. It's vandal proof. You cannot break this button by brute force. They look very nice. They look very nice on machined metal surfaces, and they've got a really nice, smooth mechanical action to them. and that's called an anti-vandal switch. You used to see anti-vandal switches on top-end cases because they were just really nice switches. Whereas these days, everything is a tactile button, so it has that dome click to it. And a lot of people are just like sort of, oh, it's a satisfying tactile click. But anyone who says that just has never touched an anti-vandal switch before.
Still think you should modify a case with a keyboard switch.
Now you've mentioned that, that is not a terrible idea. Oh, there were some reds kicking around here and I was going to pick one up. Oh yeah, there they are, yeah.
Reds would be a terrible idea.
It would have that nice smooth linear action. I don't feel like you'd need any tactile feel to it. It wouldn't have a long enough throw. Are there switches that have got a really long throw on them? A really deep, long action?
You can get slightly longer ones, I think, yeah.
Yeah, although that would probably be good enough. But yeah, no, I agree. You need something that has a tactile feel to it. Well, actually, or a clicky feel would... A clicky feel would be okay as long as it's actually mechanical and not a dome. Because the problem with that one is it looks like an anti-vandal switch, but there's a dome at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't like. That's why the moment I touched it, I was like, oh no, that's wrong, because you can feel it's got a dome at the bottom. It's not mechanical, and that's why I don't like it. And there's a big difference. But obviously, also this is just the power button. Who cares? But whatever. These are cases that cost £300. This is why I'm fussy. So, anyway, don't those flaps always break? Yeah. Pretty much.
You have been polystyrened.
Oh, I see. I didn't fold the bag properly at the bottom. I agree with you, Spud Nugget, and I would if I were packing it up, but also we were being very noisy on a live stream, and I'm like, oh my God, let's just get this damn thing back in the box. So, right, okay. Scanning through. Fractal used to use anti-vandal switches. Yeah. Scanning down.
I think basically everyone did.
There we go. Fine. Right. Okay. Let's move on then. So, coming up next.
I like the fact that we moved on in cases from that to this, and we've lost front I/O.
Yeah.
Arguably, when USB became more relevant.
This is a different. This is a different class of case, though.
Absolutely, but just a case of
most cases only have 2 USB ports at the front, and in my opinion, if you need more than 2 USB ports at the front, then you should be plugging your shit in at the back or have a hub or something like that.
Or my case could make use of the 3 USB 3 headers on my motherboard. Because what else is going to use them?
I suppose I don't like having lots of cables hanging out the front of the case. I think it looks ugly.
But also a case of, certainly where most case layout is, I'd rather have like wireless receivers in the front.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. Don't know. What would be interesting is if, you had those cases where they had like a little cubby hole on top or something like that. What would be interesting is if they had a couple of USB ports in there for plugging in wireless receivers. That would kind of be interesting. So yeah. Right, okay. Brutal Pizza, hello, thank you for the $5. In one of your videos, you said you attempted to fix some PSUs but failed, so you didn't upload it. Do you think you'd ever try it? No. Power supplies are, no. When it comes to power supplies, everyone goes, oh, it's the capacitors. You have to replace the capacitors. It's never the capacitors. Okay, like every now and then it can just be bad capacitors. Oh, it's orange. Sure, okay. Okay, those are just some cobwebs. I thought we were about to start seeing horribleness. But yeah.
Anyway. I mean, have you looked at the gunk inside the power button?
Anyway, we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, power supplies, 9 times out of 10, it's a horrible mess of finding out which MOSFET is not working properly, and a MOSFET might not be switching at the correct speed, but does work, so it looks like it works, but it actually doesn't. And yeah, power supplies are a rabbit hole, absolute rabbit hole. So yes, the short answer is no. I have no interest in going into it. I did some research to see if it was viable to make a power supply repair video, or at least want to say, okay, if you do encounter one with bad caps, then here's how you would replace that. But I think while I was researching, I took apart about 4 or 5 dead power supplies I had kicking around.
Oh, yeah, you had a...
Yeah, I had a pile of dead power
Genuine-
supplies that I'd taken apart.
Yeah, it was probably more than that.
Yeah.
So I remember there being like 10 of them in the old shop.
None of them had bad caps in them. None of them. And I'm like, okay, if in my sample size of like 5 or 10,
Yeah.
I couldn't find one with bad caps to use as an example, clearly that is not a common failure mode.
It's not common enough to be worthwhile
Yeah.
at that level.
That's
Also
it.
a case of, arguably a case of telling people to do repair videos on power supplies. It's kind of a case
It's
of,
a bit iffy.
now you're getting into stuff that's slightly spicy. And
Yeah,
it's like, at the same time, it's like 240 volts isn't dangerous, but it's, you need to be aware that it's 240 volt. And arguably it's starting to get into the category of repairs where, like, if you're watching a YouTube video to fix this, you shouldn't be fixing it,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not to say that you shouldn't learn how to repair it, but it's like someone should be teaching you who is there with you,
Yeah.
who has the experience, and also can turn off the power if it's gone wrong.
Yeah, and these are also high output power supplies as well, because, for example, I've got other ones like, for example, when I did the time machine, the time capsule with the power supply, that was bad caps. Tiny little power supplies, often it's the capacitors in those that blow. That's quite reasonable. However, also, that was a 15-watt power supply. You know, the worst thing that can do to you is what it did to me, which was give me a zing. That wasn't like it's one of my infamous videos where I literally went ow and dropped it and swore on camera and everything. But like, that wasn't a belt, that was a zing.
Yeah.
You know, a zing makes you go ow and you drop it and you swear. A belt is when you go oof, whew, oh, my heart's going now, kind of thing.
Am I still alive?
And that's the thing, is just 240 volts from a power supply will give you a belt. But and apart from in very extreme, and most of the time you're probably not going to die though. However, also,
That's not dice I like rolling.
yeah, it's not something that I should be messing with as I'm not a qualified electrician. And also, because we're talking about an ATX power supply, and a lot of people can be rocking power supplies that are up to a kilowatt these days, if that's not repaired properly, that's a lot of energy that power supply can generate.
Yeah.
And that can be a very big bang.
It's also
So,
kind of a case of,
yeah,
arguably it's not worth it, even if the repair is 50p on a £115 power supply. The
Not worth the
computer
hassle.
that is going in is £1,000,
yeah,
£3,000.
that's it.
So if you've not done it right and it goes wrong, that's £3,000.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a,
The only time I
on
ever...
the safety side of the equipment afterwards, I'm kind of like, I'd rather spend the money and just buy a new power supply that comes with a warranty, that is sealed,
Yeah.
that if it breaks the other equipment, it's not my problem.
Yeah,
So, yeah, there are certain bits where I'm just like, no, I want this to be someone else's problem.
yeah. I think the only time I ever open up power supplies these days is to swap out if the fan in them has gone.
Yeah.
Because changing the fan in a power supply, not a big deal. That's really not a big deal. You can very easily swap out a fan, and it's quite common for the fan to fail in a power supply, and that's very trivial to replace. So that's something that can be done. Yeah, that's something that I would do on any kind of power supplies. If the fan is rattling, I would stick a different fan in it. That's not a big deal. But actual electrical failure, no. It's for all of the reasons that we've just gone through, no, in short. So yeah. Anyway, and 240 is definitely enough to kill. Yes, it is enough to kill, but in the context of how you would encounter it, like the most likely thing you're going to encounter in this power supply is the input caps. I mean, granted, the input caps can be up to 400 volts, but like getting into a position where you could actually pass 400 volts across your chest is very difficult on one of these. So, but on the other hand, though, also now I'm trying to justify saying that 400 volts isn't really dangerous. So
Well, it's not a case that the 400 volts isn't dangerous, it's the fact that the setup to get into a situation where it's going to cause a definite problem is somewhat contrived.
Yeah.
But it's still the case of, that's why we're saying that we don't really want to have
And also-
things suggesting repairing
Yeah,
power supplies.
that's it.
Because there's these mountain of ifs, buts, that's, so ons.
yeah,
What about that? these situations, which is why I was kind of like, you'd arguably want to be learning in person from someone.
Yeah, so
because also the fact of the thing of, if it goes wrong, there's someone to turn off the power.
Yeah.
There's someone to dial 999.
Yeah.
There's someone there to do something when you catastrophically screw up and put yourself on the floor
Yeah.
and
So,
need immediate assistance.
ergo, see Big Clive's videos about people doing wood burning with microwave transformers.
God, yeah.
Yeah. So
That-
for that reason, just to clarify, yes, 240 volts is dangerous. Yes, it can kill you. No, do not try and mend power supplies.
Yeah.
Like, despite everything I've said, let's not beat around the bush here. Yes, it is dangerous. Yes, it can be fatal.
Yeah.
You know, I can say sort of it's probably not going to be fatal, but it can be fatal. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've had people before say about my voltage injection videos when I've been injecting voltage. They said, "Oh, is it safe to touch the board when you're injecting power?" I'm like, "There's a couple of volts there. Anything that's below 40 volts, it's not. It's fine. There's no way you can do meaningful damage with less than 40 volts. Once you get to 50 volts and up, that's when it can start to penetrate the skin. That's when it can start becoming hazardous." So yeah. Anyway, that was a lot of sudden sort of blah 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 blah. So yeah, saying that the current. Okay, yeah, we're getting into current versus voltage and stuff like that. It's not the voltage that kills you. It's not the current that kills you. It's the energy that kills you.
I mean, it's also a case of, yes, you need to have a minimum voltage for there to
Yeah,
be current flow, etc., etc. But it's just a case of, don't willingly do it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're at this point arguing the point of going, so how much can I shock myself?
Yeah, it's
At
just
what
like,
level
oh,
should
yeah.
I be concerned about running electricity through my body?
Yeah.
My answer is kind of, any level?
And also it's a case of it's all very well with like sort of me having a rough enough knowledge of electricity to know what is hazardous and what is not, but also I'm not a formally trained electrician. I'm not the one who you should be taking advice from. So yeah. So yes. Right, I'm going to quickly back scroll because I was ignoring chat while we were both going ha no 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 at each other. So,
But yes, can anyone notice what's weird about this case?
yes, this is. I did say this was BTX. However, Caradog, can you explain to me why this is not BTX?
Or
while
at
I
least
back
why
on the
I
chat?
don't think it's BTX. Because as far
Yeah.
as I
It's
understood
inverted, isn't it?
with BTX was, whilst yes, the motherboard was on the other panel of the case, was on the right-hand side, that the motherboard layout was different so that the PCI stuff was still at the bottom. And you just swap this to the other side, and then the motherboard was effectively a mirrored layout as well. So it then dropped this stuff to here, or at least there, and then this stuff there. So the back would have the PCIe slots effectively in the middle for BTX, if I remember correctly, because they were effectively trying to get a single channel of airflow through the case.
Yeah.
So you could have a single very high pressure
Have
covered
one of these.
tunnel. Yeah, and then you could have effectively a single front fan just blowing through both the GPU and CPU, if I remember correctly. But also BTX was like 2004, wasn't it? 5-ish?
Yeah. It was a
So it's
rumbling.
slightly before I actually got involved in high-end computers.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. There was theories that it was going to replace ATX, and then it just didn't.
Wait,
But yeah.
that's just a flower cooler.
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
Yes.
I don't like the smell of this case.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, there is an SSD.
Smoker's dust. Oh yeah. Yep. Right. Let's stick the camera in this thing. So yeah, this is you.
Have you done anything with this?
No, I've done nothing with it. So as people have pointed out, this is not. I think. Yeah, this is not actually BTX. I was incorrect. It is inverted ATX. I'm going to move the heckin' thing. There we go.
Whoop.
And we
Oh,
can
a
get
yellow,
look in there.
yellow SATA cable.
Oh yeah, sort of. Ooh, come on, cable.
Do you
in
know,
there.
it's amazing how much inverted ATX doesn't work for cable tidying. on some stuff just because of where holes and runs and stuff are for this case. Because like there's no access at the top, so this can't come in from the back. You'd
Yeah.
have to like run it under the board and then round.
I'm just
But it's also partially just this case.
Yeah, it's also, I think what baffles me is not the inverted ATX layout, because that's not super uncommon, but it's a case of, but why? Why is this inverted ATX? Because the only time I've ever seen inverted ATX is on oddball cases, small form factors, or cases that we're doing something weird for a purpose.
Yeah.
Whereas it's
or
like,
just
this is just
£300 cases and they're like
Yeah.
lol features.
Yeah, like this is just a basic bitch biscuit tin. Like there's no reason for this to be inverted, and it's just it's kind of odd, really. So
Did anything ever use the middle screw mounts on optical drives?
not to
Because
my
I've always
knowledge.
seen them on cases and stuff. I'm like, what the hell mounted on them?
I think it's for ghetto mounting. I think it's just so if you've got like fan controllers or card readers that sometimes have brackets that only stick in part way. And I think they just
yeah.
put a whole bunch of mounting holes on these drive cages, just so whatever you were bolting in, there would be somewhere that it would fit.
Oh yeah.
I think that was
yeah,
I think
kinda
that
makes
was the
sense.
theory. So so yes. Anyway, so this computer came in. This one has lines down the screen. So I think we've got. I think this one's actually going to be fairly boring. I think it's just got a bad graphics card in it. However, this is actually a repair that's in for repair, along with the other one that we're going to look at. And I'm like, I've got a lot of work to do. So people wanted live repairs. We're not going to fix this because it's probably going to need parts. But at the very least, let's do some diagnostics. So
Absolutely.
I think the graphics card is going to be dead. Let's see if the graphics card is dead. I shall go around the back and plug it all in. Oop. And let's plug into the GPU. Being Intel, this has got onboard video as well, so we can probably plug into that
Probably.
and see if we get the same kind of issue. I'll grab a keyboard, a board of keys there.
Excellent. Oh, we were on bench-cam, that's why.
Yeah,
Not
if you go
on
to Live
that one,
Gamer and then X1.
because that will give us that.
Yeah.
And then I
There
can
we go.
go.
And then you can go, there we go. This is very quiet because the graphics card fan isn't spinning. Pretty certain the graphics card fan should spin. Pretty certain that graphics card is cooked. The monitor is coming on. The monitor is not coming on. Huh.
May I have a beep speaker?
You may. Whoop.
Also, where's the speaker? What?
Yes, sorry. I was having to do some mental gymnastics to understand where the top of the board, where the bottom of the motherboard would be. This layout is confusing me so much because we've got the front of us facing it, and it's the bottom right of the motherboard is in the top left of the case. Right, it's going to be JFP2. My guess is, it's the top row of pins, and red will be toward the back of the case. So yeah, is the GPU heatsink getting warm? No, the back of the GPU is stone cold. Apparently this thing was starting. And also, yeah, the GPU, the power supply being called Arctic, not to be confused with Arctic, is rather odd. This is a bit of a shitbox, I'm not going to lie. However, what is that? Z87? It is Haswell. So, like, it's 4th gen Intel. We don't know what CPU is under there.
There was a
but
light flashing.
okay.
So there was at least some sign of life.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, you could build this up into something that is half decent. Does the CPU have a GPU? It does.
I think that's going to be my next step.
We've got no beeps or anything. I don't think it's posting. Hang on a sec. No, that ticking is just fans. I think we should pull out the graphics card and try it on board.
Yes.
Because the graphics card looks very dead because the fan isn't spinning, and that's not a good sign.
Oh, that has to unscrew.
Yeah, let's turn the whole thing around so the rear I/O is facing us, because that would make me feel less confused about this entire computer as well. Ooh. There we go. Oh, this makes a lot more sense in my brain now. Right. Bad RAM slot. RAM could be BIOS reset first, just in case. That's going to be next. I'm going straight to graphics card just because all of the knowledge that we have about this computer leads me to believe that it's going to be a bad GPU. So I'm going straight to that first. Oh, this is so confusing because the motherboard is that way up, and I just looked at the hard drive and was just like, why is the hard drive upside down? But it's not. I hate this case so much.
Where is... Oh, there.
GPU's heatsink looks clogged. Let's have a look at it.
It's a bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty how you're doing. The GPU fan, it's really clogged, yeah. It's not... It's also got ghost thermal technology, so it might be a stop-start fan.
Oops. Oh, I've gone on to the wrong scene. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
We have very little of anything.
No. The lack of beep is very concerning. I think my next inclination is BIOS battery and then RAM. The BIOS battery actually looks discolored. That's seen a lot of heat. Can you see that?
There you go. Yeah.
Have you just pulled that out? Oh yeah, I'll check it out. Circuit.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's full on rainbow.
Yeah. Can we get that? Can we get a shot of that on camera? Because I've not seen that before. Let me just switch to bench cam and go for the close-up.
Oh, we are also in the wrong round slots.
Yeah. There you go. Can you see that rainbow sheen? This thing has seen a lot of heat, which probably means it's toast, but I've not seen one that's visibly
Wait, what?
got thermal markings on it like that before. That's interesting.
What? Why are there...
That's where a transformer is mounted, or it's probably that's probably where the choke, the damn it.
Yes.
What's the thing that you have on the AC input? Help me out here, people. That balances the input output. someone.
Active power factor correction.
No. Not the bridge rectifier, not
full bridge rectifier.
PFC might be there as well. This thing is 3 volts out of circuit, so that means it's going to be below 3 in circuit. So it's not completely wrecked, but it is low.
Yeah.
Low bouncer, filter, ×2 cap. No. Oh, it's frustrating me. Damn it.
Inductor. Choke. Coil.
It is 2 chokes that are wrapped around each other, so they introduce loads in each other, and phase demodulation. I can't believe no one is correcting me in chat.
The discombobulator.
Chat, why don't you know the answer?
Because we barely understand the question.
Transformer. No, you're all wrong. Oh my God, hang on a sec. AC input, choke.
Inverter drive supermarket.
Oh God, no, that's not what I want.
Input output choke regulator.
Choke. Wikipedia. This is completely off topic now, but I need to. Common mode choke. Common mode choke. That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
It's the common mode choke, is what you're seeing bolted to the side there.
Okay.
There we go.
The carburetor.
Yeah. There we go. Right. Common mode choke. We can now
The
continue.
variable vein spline joint connecting to the waffle arbor drive. Are you getting another battery?
Yes.
Is this a good battery?
Yes, that's a brand new one.
Excellent.
Right. Common mode choke. That's not just a UK thing. Everything's got a common mode choke on it.
That was a good spark.
It's terrifying, this cable, but also really cool.
But it was also the fact that it happened before the cable was in.
Yeah, because it's an arc.
As in, no, it happened like here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, excuse me?
Yeah. We're using an old Apple G3 kettle lead that is made of clear plastic, so you see all the sparks and arcs in it. It looks really cool, but also you can see why they stopped using these. Because everyone's just like, my cable keeps sparking. It's just like, yeah,
hey.
do that. Oh, it lives. So what was that? Was that the different, probably a BIOS reset?
BIOS reset, BIOS battery.
Yeah.
Combination of the two have
Yeah.
given us a post.
What are we on, the XR2? Where's the XR2 in this one? It's just
not.
not there. Fine, we'll switch to there then. Anyway, it posted. I'm going to get cider. I need alcohol.
Get old speckled hen.
I'll try it.
Right.
Do you
now
want a
that we have a
Stowford?
post, we can try the gupoo.
Do you want a Stowford?
Yes, please. Almost. Okay. Ghost. Oh, this is XFF. XFF. English. XFX. There you go.
Please rehot GPU, bro.
There you go. Also, we didn't get a beep, but we got a post.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's not the speaker location.
The fan twitched on the graphics card. I think that might be a stop-start fan, and it's not spinning just because the card is stone cold. It still needs cleaning out anyway, but...
The monitor turned off, then on, then off.
It's got a really slow idle flash on it. It's not too slow to wake up, though, this monitor. It's not the quickest I've ever seen, but I wouldn't call it slow.
We don't have a picture.
XFX's exclusive Ghost Thermal 2 creates a floating heatsink with open airflow between the PCB, the cover, so the air can quickly ventilate off the card. In other words, it's just a really small heatsink with a massive hecking shroud
With a
over
pointless
it.
shroud.
Yeah. Just marketing.
What the
Oh, that's front USB.
fuck?
Oh no. Oh, it's one of those cases. Oh, hang on a sec.
Do you have a GPU that takes a 6-pin?
Yes.
Cool.
Hang on a sec. Let me grab the 1060. Let's show them the thing and why it's terrible. Do you understand what that's for?
Yes.
Yeah.
However, I'm also struggling with the camera. There we go. Right. So the front USB 3 header has this little fly lead off of it. It's USB 2. So if you haven't got USB 3 on your motherboard, you can plug in this instead of, oh dear, that's awful. It's awful.
And that's the thing. The problem is it implies that people buy this case when it was new and use it on motherboards that are so bad they don't have USB 3.
Yeah.
But that is the...
Or sufficiently old.
Yeah,
I guess.
that's the non-Western markets though, isn't it? Where is the 1060 gone?
Oh, goodness.
I mean, we've got a 960 here. That's period to the computer, so I guess that'll do.
Does it require power? Yes.
Yeah, it needs a 6-pin. That's a known good crew tested it last week. I'm just more annoyed. I was just like, where's my 1066 gig gone? I'll be annoyed. Well, I mean, it's in here somewhere. It's not lost, but yeah, oh well.
Not all those who wander are lost, John.
Flashback to that video where someone had plugged both in. Oh my God. I don't remember that, but it sounds like something I would find. Is the GPU turbo dead? It doesn't look good. However, what actually is the GPU? When is it called?
7850.
7850, yeah. It was a mid-range card in its day. So yeah. The customer told me that they were getting bands down the screen, which means this is almost certainly dead or has bad memory. So it looks like this is dead. It doesn't, who cares? It's a 7850. This 960 would actually be a really good contender to replace it. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the GPU's toast.
Yeah. I was just making sure it wasn't the power supply as well.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't trust that power supply as far as I can throw it. But here's the thing. See, this is the thing about the repair shop situation now. A chap has brought this computer in for repair. The fact that they're running this computer and they haven't bought a new one tells me that they probably don't have a lot of money, which is why they're running a grotty old computer.
It's 4 rails.
And they probably bought this secondhand from someone for probably too much money, but whatever. So the thing is now, what do I tell him? Like, it's easy for people to be like sort of, oh, it's junk, throw it out the window. But it's like, well, what's he going to do? Spend $1,000 on a new computer? So what do we do with this? Like, I could sell him this 960 for a very reasonable amount of money, and that would be an ideal replacement for this graphics card. A 962 gig is not very good, but then this computer isn't very good.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect drop-in cheap replacement. But also that power supply, I wouldn't trust that as far as I could lob it. And if I swung that around, I could probably lob it pretty far.
It can do 380 watts per 12-volt rail, apparently.
That's not bad.
So apparently, based off of that, it's more than fine with this GPU and this CPU.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a case of, whilst, yes, I
don't trust it. That's what the label says, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a case of I wouldn't trust it to carry forward in an upgrade. I'd trust it for a 962 gig.
Yeah, yeah.
If that makes sense.
So that's the thing. I'm inclined to sell in this 962 gig on the cheap and say, look, we've put this in. It's period to the computer. It's slightly better than what you had. Wouldn't trust the power supply. That's probably the next thing that's going to go bang on this. But past that, you're back to gaming kind of thing. So, did you plug in?
I've just plugged in both drives.
Okay, let's start it up on the test SSD first anyway. Also, it might be a UEFI install of Windows, and because we BIOS reset, it's dropped back to legacy boot.
But it should detect it and then go...
Not necessarily. UEFI boot might be disabled by default.
Wouldn't it?
Like, not just secondary, but straight up disabled.
But would it not still detect that there's an OS?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
If it's in legacy boot mode with UEFI boot disabled, it will just be like, I cannot boot.
Huh. How bizarre.
Yeah.
So...
Well, that's a half decent... Yeah. Considering this is Z87, that BIOS is actually fairly modern. i5 440. Let me switch over to capture. So yeah, boot select UEFI in. Did you just change that?
Yeah, I changed that from legacy plus UEFI to UEFI only.
Yeah, although that's the thing. When it's on legacy and UEFI, it can get stuck on legacy, where legacy will be like no boot device found and stop, instead of handing off to the next boot mode. Which is why you should always manually select. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, we've dropped into an EFI shell. So it looks like it's not a EFI boot either. Let's plug in the test SSD, because then at least we can just do some very quick burn tests and sanity check the hardware. Because if Windows is bollocks, that is an offline repair. That's an off-stream repair.
Absolutely. But so, I just wanted to see where we were.
Yeah, if it started booting into Windows, then that would have been...
cool, we're basically done, blow it out.
Yeah, that would have been 90% fixed. Right, I'm going to catch up on chat. So, I'm sorry I haven't been reading chat much this week. I'm having one of those weeks where I'm flapping a lot. So, anyway.
Imagine that, people coming to your stream and wanting to hear you talk.
Yeah, but I mean, I try to interact with the chat a reasonable amount, but sometimes when I start waffling, or if we start talking about power supply repair, I'm just not reading the chat. So yeah, do you want to hit it with a load when it gets into Windows, and we'll just see if it falls over?
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah.
Have we actually tested the GPU? Like,
I mean, I could plug it with something else.
not that GPU. This one.
That one.
Has that actually done Fermark or superposition or anything?
Ooh, I don't think so. We post-tested it last week, didn't we? But we didn't actually hit it with a load.
Yeah.
So, however, based on the condition it's in and the chap who gave it to me, I've no reason to doubt it. It was actually given to me.
Oh wow! Look at that. It actually picked up a decent resolution as well.
Yeah. Well, it's 960. It's not that old.
Oh yeah, but it picked up a decent resolution without doing anything.
Yeah. I still class the 9 series as a modern graphics card. Okay, yeah, chat. Yeah, i5. Yeah. Shut up. 4 gig budget build. Yeah, how much RAM did this thing have? Was it 4?
Can't tell. I will tell you in a second.
Okay.
Where's hardware info? Oh, there. I was struggling to read.
Not the roasted 960, is it? It is not.
That's cool.
Military grade. Yeah, the whole military grade thing, MSI went through a phase of that and it was cringe. Did you intend to hit single core? Yeah. I was going to say, did you plan to make us wait for half an hour?
Stop.
6 newer BIOS versions available.
Sweet. It's got 4 gig total.
4 gigs. Oh. Does it tell us slots used 2 or 4? Is it really 2? Oh. I'm surprised it's that low. I expected it to be 8 gigs.
Yeah. But because they're Kingston modules, you can't bloody tell.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's 2. Yeah. On the flip side, though, at least it's got 4 slots on the motherboard. I'm sure I've got some more 2 gigabyte modules, and we could just stack the thing up to get it up to 8.
Yeah.
4 gigs is no bueno.
I don't expect temperatures to be good.
Yeah, we haven't blown this thing out, but also it's an i5. It doesn't. Oh, is it just locked up? Ooh. Okay, yeah, no, it's just loaded down. Oh.
Yeah, but
we don't have enough cores to do all of this at the same time. 4 times 1 gig. No, it's got 2 gigabyte modules in, but I've probably got some 2 gig module. I've probably got another 4 gig. I've probably got another 2x2 gig kit lying around.
Oh my god!
That I can throw in there and just bump it up to 8
volts. What the hell?
How much? Sorry.
1.65 volts.
Yeah. DDR3, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least it's a quad core. Oh boy. Oh, are we waiting for this?
Yes.
Okay.
It needs to complete a cycle.
Yeah, I'll read the chat while we watch the slowest Cinebench ever. Well, actually, no. I'm sure we can find something in here that's slower than this.
Do you know what's slower than this?
What?
An FX running at 6 gigahertz.
Yeah, I could believe it. Yeah.
I have all the frequency ever and 0 instructions per clock.
Oh well. Let's see. Quite a slow quad core. Yeah. Let's see. Sleepwalker says in Discord this week we commented on a video that someone posted about 2 badly built PCs on YouTube. I haven't actually gotten around to watching that yet. It's sitting in my watch later thing.
It is.
The first one I looked at.
It is.
The first one that I saw that had all of the hard drives in, it didn't look too bad. It was a nightmare just because it had all those hard drives in.
It was.
So the question was, why does it have that many hard drives in it?
They're also all 10 terabyte drives.
Yeah, so that was actually built as a storage rig, and with that many hard drives in, and if there were 10 terabytes, they obviously needed the storage. But at that point, cabling is not your concern.
It was also just the well, kind of. The cabling was a bit of a mess. The GPU was kind of not actually in the slot properly. Didn't fit in the case.
Ah, okay.
Bits were bent to get it in the case.
Oh, no.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was thumb screws in the motherboard to hold it to the tray.
Oh, no.
So just
okay.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the other computer, they'd bent the back panel out
Yeah.
to get the GPU in past the hard drive tray. And then when you looked at the back of it, they'd
Yeah.
actually just bent out the hard drive tray and put it at like
No.
and put it at like 80 degrees to where it should have been
Yeah.
to like plug in the power cables and stuff.
Yeah. And that's the thing. These were
3080 Ti.
yeah,
I
these
think.
were computers that someone had purchased from a system builder, like not the same system builder per se, but someone had paid for this computer to be built, and this is what had been delivered to them.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're DIYing your computer at home, everyone bodges when they're working on their own stuff. But if you're building a computer to sell to someone, no, and absolutely not. If it doesn't fit in the case, you change the case. And if you don't put thumb screws in a motherboard and just like, what's wrong with you? You know. So yeah, I haven't watched the video yet though. But
yeah, there was just lots of stuff like that, and it was just like,
it was indicative that not all who build computers have any idea what they're doing. And cowboys in the industry, man, it's frustrating.
Oh, good, it completed a cycle.
Hurrah! 2950 points. I wonder whether this laptop could beat that. But yeah. Are you going to try and get a temperature reading on it now?
Yeah, I'm just going to watch this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't instantly gone 100 degrees, therefore it's functional.
Yeah.
Which is all it needs to be.
I mean, when I blow this out, I'll put new thermal paste on it anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's
yeah.
just a case of we're not like the cooler has to be replaced.
Yeah. We do need to thermark the graphics card though. Or are we gonna clean this out? Yeah, we may as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I was just gonna get out the other PC.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'll quickly take this out the back and I'll blow the dust out while you set up the other one.
Yeah.
And then we can come back to this one.
I was going to get us into the position where I could be
yes.
doing the other one whilst you were cleaning this.
Agreed. Because the other one is probably going to need mem test. So yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, and we'll want to grab a BIOS for this as well.
Sure thing. Right. Ooh. Okay, right. I'm going to quickly take this out the back and I'll blow the dust out. We're going to get the other one working.
Do you want to blow that out all the same?
Just for posterity.
And we'll see if we can get it to do something.
Yeah, because it would be nice to, if nothing else, we'll test this in the Corsair just to confirm that it's actually stone dead.
Yeah.
Because if it's stone dead, then obviously we can just lob it in the bin.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's kind of sorta, then we give it to the customer and say, what do you want to do with this?
Yeah.
Well, I give it back to the customer anyway, but it's whether I tell the customer this is dead or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
So what was the fault described with the other one?
The fractal is blue screening at random. Apparently it happens within, I can't remember. I think it happens within like 10 or 15 minutes of hitting it with a load or like gaming load. So you'll probably need to hit the CPU with something hard or maybe firm. I'd probably be thinking superposition rather than Firmark.
Yeah,
like a gaming load. Apparently it blue screens with a gaming load. I'm expecting it to be bad memory because when you look in that computer, and as you'll see in a minute, the memory is the only part of it that makes you go, oh, that's not very good. The rest of it is a case of, okay, this thing needs a clean up, but there's actually a nice computer in here. It just needs some love.
Fair enough.
It's a very interesting build. I had, when the customer brought it in, I was like, this is a nice computer. You could do a lot with this. Be right back, everyone.
Very well. Shall I mute you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Tell me when I am muted.
One moment. Oh, I see what you mean about the RAM.
Yeah. Someone's nicked RAM out.
You are muted.
Cool.
There we go. Right. I want bench cam. There we go. Whoop. So let's have a ganders. Oh God, now I spend time looking like an idiot trying to work out how fractals work. There we go. What? Okay. What is going on? How do these side panels work? Seriously, how do these side panels work? Ah, there we go. Ah, that's just very bent. Right. The clip here wasn't disengaging, so the actual panel was quite bent out of shape. So yes. There we go. Right, we have hard drive and SSD. We have we have GPU, which is a 1066 gig. Nice. An AIO that is filled with dust. Single memory stick. So this should just post and boot, yeah?
Yes.
Very well. No, they're not quite long enough for me to do that.
Unplug it from the motherboard.
Well, I was going to reuse one of the cables for the SSD.
Ah, yeah.
May I have another one then?
Yes, you may. Bam.
Boop. Boop. There we go.
All right.
I can
Oh
boogie.
yeah, that AIO is pretty dusty, isn't it? The customer said they'd made an effort to clean it before bringing it in, so you can see that bits of it, like as a whole, it doesn't look filthy. But this is a chap who had enough knowledge to open it up and just run a cloth around on the inside, but doesn't know enough to actually take it to bits and detail it, kind of thing.
Oh, it's got the
Soundproofing.
soundproofing stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. Makes the side panels quite heavy.
Love the heat pipes on those. That's what I like about these MSI cards. Yeah. I recently sold my MSI 960 that had this cooler on it, and I really liked that card. I was a little bit sad about selling it, but there was a computer in that needed it, and I was like, I'm holding on to this graphics card for no reason. It's a 962 gig, and this computer needs it more than I do. But it was a really nice 960 because the heat pipe cooler design on it just looked really good. And yeah, it's the same with this.
Whoop. I'll go that way again.
All right.
Le power.
Are we ready to go?
Spark.
Pump on the AO could be knackered. It could be. Excuse me.
Oh, it's an RM550.
Yeah.
They made RMs at 550. I thought they stopped at 650.
Nope. It's the bottom end one, but yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Very well.
Reboot. Okay. So we probably need EFI boot. It seems like every single computer we start up on the podcast gives us EFI issues. And I don't know why. But yeah. Let's see. Arsenal Gaming. That's good. Oh, what was the CPU in there? I missed it just then.
I also did not see.
Oh well.
It is a big motherboard.
Yeah, it's a Ryzen something.
Is it?
Yeah. Because it's DDR4, so it has to be a Ryzen. Well, it's an AMD DDR4 board, therefore it has to be a Ryzen.
Oh, I see.
Well, and unless it's got an A series in it, but I don't think anyone's sticking an AIO on an A series. That'd be really funny if it was like an A.
Where does it even say what the board is?
Under the graphics card.
Oh, yeah.
It's an MSI Tomahawk, unless I'm mistaken.
B350 Tomahawk.
Yeah. Yep, good guess, Spud Nugget. B350 Tomahawk.
Why is it so deep with nothing here? There.
That's what you get for insulting the fractal. Because it's a fractal, this is
No,
what...
no, not the fractal, the motherboard. There's nothing here.
Oh, I see, yeah.
It's deep.
The Tomahawk is
just
designed
odd.
to look bigger and beefier than it actually is, which is in a way a good thing and in a way a bad thing. It's a gamer series motherboard, so they want it to look good. Gamer. They want it to look good, but also it's a budget series, so it doesn't actually have a lot on it.
Also, does this want to, like...
It did post, but now it's just gone to black screen.
Does this want to, like, work?
We've got... no, never mind. We don't have monitor output. No, it does not want to work. We might have to try plugging in the customer SSD just to see if we can get it to boot something. Because I was under the impression that this thing booted. On the flip side, if the customer cleaned it out before they brought it in and did not try turning it back on, it might have been that they dislodged something while they were cleaning it, which has upset it. But it does post, so we know it's not stone dead. I'm going to switch off the capture until we actually have something worth looking at. What's unique about this board is it's got PCI non-E slots on it. Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? Oh, that's bizarre. Yeah.
Ugh.
The fuck is that? Oh, who said the AIO pump was knackered? Because actually, the AIO pump is knackered. It's workable.
Also, there's no video signal.
Yeah. Have we fallen into It's Dead, Jim?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, hang on a sec. We've got a... Oh, I can't... You know what I hate about diagnostic LEDs on motherboards? They're so bright that you can't see the silk screen next to them. Oh, we're power cycling. What was that? We were on CPU.
there you go.
We're now on boot.
BIOS.
Oh, yeah. It was just a slow boot. We have BIOS again.
There's also a possibility this SSD no longer works.
Oh, you just...
I may have snapped off the SATA power connector.
Whoops.
Because I plugged it in at a janky angle.
How could you do that? Now our Corsair 120GB Force GT is worthless.
Oh no, I'll just have to move on to my Samsung.
I was going to say, they're around. Hang on a
Where is
sec.
my Samsung?
There's-
It was there.
there's-
It still has the masking tape on it.
Yes. Oh, good. Yeah. I thought you were about to say it still has Windows on it, because it doesn't, because I formatted it yesterday.
Yeah, no, there you go. I was going to say it still has the masking tape on it.
Yes.
Because mine's an 840 and that's an 850.
Yeah. That probably still works.
Yes, but it's just a case of we now need to test it in another machine.
Yeah. Oh, well.
What is this? This is an 1800X.
Oh, yeah. Early Ryzen.
That's cool.
But yeah, well, 1800X, that's not bad.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, right. Focus. So I've got no focus today.
Have you got a Windows 10 flash drive?
Yes.
Thanks. Also, good lord, what the hell is that noise?
It's the AIO pump.
CPU temp is 41. It's not instantly gone to 90, so that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. You could probably tune out that noise by adjusting the pump speed to a certain speed that it's happy with, but ultimately, long term, I would replace the cooler, but
There you go.
it depends. The customer, they want to get this thing up and running again so they can play games on it. And like when they came in, they looked at my display computers and he was just like, these are awesome. I would love one of these. And I was like, we could up this thing, you know, like if we recase this thing into a new case, it looked like $1 million kind of thing.
Yeah, it's also a case of it's a B350,
yeah.
so you can stick a 5600
That's
in
it. And I said, you know, that's normal. That's a UEFI glitch.
Excuse me.
Yeah. It'll come.
Nalu. Nalu. Nalu.
It'll come good when it boots. Anyway, yeah, so you could do stuff with this, but he was a bit on the fence about how much money he actually wanted to spend fixing it up. I think once he actually gets it running and he's using it, he'll start wanting to spend money on it, but we've got to get it working first.
Absolutely. But like a 5600 non-X.
Yeah, that would be a very, yeah.
For what, 200?
Low 200s.
Low 200s? No.
230, 220, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be great. A new GPU now that the prices are actually falling.
Yeah.
A second stick of RAM. Mostly a second stick of RAM, actually.
Yeah. Assuming this motherboard got Ryzen 5000 support, which
all of them did.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
AMD has officially released it as part of the GC updates.
That's fine. Yeah, because that's the interesting thing. It'll come good when it actually boots, if it boots, but also if it's not booting.
That's the fourth time it's shown that screen.
I think this memory is shagged, and I think we should stick memtest on it.
Can I have memtest
I don't
now?
think this is a boot issue at this point. I think this is the computer doesn't work issue. I can't remember what my memtest flash drive is. It might be, historically, it used to be GG.
Good game.
GG the cat, you insensitive clod. This might not be while you do that, I'm actually going to quickly make up a memtest disk on another computer, just so we absolutely know we've got one. Oh my God, that bloody AIO.
It's a fan.
Are you sure?
Well, I just did that on that fan.
It just happened to... They're changing speed, though. That's the problem. Oh, yeah.
I think it's the fans.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's that fan. That's a very odd noise for a fan to make. It doesn't sound like a... That's not normally what that's what a busted water pump sounds like.
That's also the second time it's brought that screen.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Let me just make up
It is not happy with whatever it's doing.
Yeah, I'm just going to make up a new memtest drive because I don't think that one has memtest on it. You're right. I'll put it on here because this always used to be. I think that might... Oh, I don't know. At some point recently, I threw out all of my old flash drives to replace them with new ones. And I swapped around some of the lanyards. And
then got confused.
Yeah.
Desperately.
And I shouldn't have done it because I've kept the same lanyards on the same flash drives for years. They're so deeply ingrained as to what is on each lanyard. And now I've changed them about. I cannot remember a new one. And test 86. Without looking, I can already tell that someone in the chat is telling me I should use something other than memtest 86.
I'm sure someone will tell you to use the built-in Windows one.
Ah, no. It gives you so little feedback.
Also, I'm actually just going to see if I can get the BIOS screen to display properly.
Yeah, as I say, that's a quirk of UEFI on certain builds of Windows. I couldn't... No, I don't know if it is UEFI, actually. It's a quirk of certain builds of Windows on certain motherboards.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
But when they do that, as soon as you boot into Windows, it comes good. So you can basically ignore it when you see that happen. I couldn't tell you why it happens, but you can literally just ignore it when it does happen.
Oh.
What is on this flash drive?
Board Explorer.
Okay, this is a Windows flash drive. It's probably my Windows 11 flash drive. Now it's going to be thing again.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Right. No drive selected. Oh, that one.
Oh!
Right.
That's kind of cool. There's a Board Explorer in the BIOS, and you can like hover on stuff and it'll tell you what.
Yeah, this has been a party trick that MSI has for a while.
Logitech USB receiver.
It's kind of neat.
That's not bad.
I've always thought this is neat. I've never actually found it useful for anything. Although I've never seen a modern enough version where it can actually tell you what USB device is plugged in. Like the fact that it actually identified that it was a Logitech keyboard receiver, I haven't seen that before. At most, I've just seen it say there is a USB device plugged in here.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It tells you where the Super I/O is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of, it's kind of neat, isn't it? It's cute.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
What are you?
I'm going to unplug that goddamn fan in a minute. It's driving me up the wall. It's such an annoying noise. It's just sitting there going.
It's okay, now the other fan's broken as well.
Oh, God. Oh, no, you're right. Okay, put it on its side, because they were quiet when they were vertical. The best part is when you do that and you snap a blade off of the fan, and then the fan just starts going because it's unbalanced. Yeah. Okay.
Can you hot swap? Oh.
I'd control delete it to reboot.
Yeah, but you can. No, I meant this
Yeah.
view. Can you
Oh, I see,
plug
yeah,
something
yeah.
in and it tell you what it is? It
Yeah.
can. That's cool. I like that.
Sell it as a working Venus Court build. Oh no.
No, no, do not. No, no, that's USB floppy. That's fine. I thought I changed the boot order.
Double check AHCI versus RAID for SATA drives. That's a good shout. We're going to go straight into memtest first because I don't we should have still been able to boot the Windows 10 flash drive and we couldn't. However,
Oh, there you go. That's at least booted.
yeah, in terms of trying to get one of the SSDs to boot, that is a good shout for this kind of situation. But yeah, wouldn't matter for thing. Yeah, put the screen to full screen. Yeah, one sec. Let's go. Let's make us small.
Okay.
Okay, right. We'll just let this. We'll let this kick off and just see if it falls over in 10 seconds, and then we'll stick the other computer back on the bench and do some cleaning on that. Wow, that's got a lot of cores. Oh yeah, well, 8 core, yeah. I don't know what I don't know why I thought it would be a 6 core 12 thread, but yeah. Yep, 8 cores, each of them being able to count to 10, not very fast. I don't know where I'm going with this joke. Right, the first generation Ryzens didn't have terribly good IPC, but yeah. Well, it hasn't immediately died. I might be completely wrong about it being a memory issue. There's something that it's unhappy with, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe just a BIOS update would help it along.
That is, I mean, we should BIOS update it full stop.
Yeah,
because that will
agreed.
give Ryzen 5000 support.
Yeah,
Oh, we'll have to double check it doesn't drop first gen support though.
yeah. 1800X was the top CPU. Was it? Was there no
Yeah.
1900X? Interesting.
Yeah.
Ah, very well. Interesting that it was paired with a B series motherboard, because that would have been expensive when it was released then, wouldn't it? And they paired it with a mid-range motherboard. Or considering there wouldn't have been a lot of choice for AMD motherboards back then, it was arguably a low-spec motherboard. The fact that they didn't get an X370 for it. That's really interesting that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the owner of this computer isn't the builder. They acquired it from someone. It sat in a cupboard for a long period of time before he's dusted it off, tried to use it, realized it doesn't work and brought it in here. But yeah. Oh yeah, the memory was 2400 as well. So it wants a replacement RAM kit. It's one of the reasons why I was really hoping this was going to be faulty memory, because it means that we instantly have an excuse to stick a better RAM kit in there.
Yeah. Also, it's first gen, so there's no point in going over 3200-ish on your RAM kit.
Yeah, that's all I'd lob in there anyway.
Oh yeah, but just a case
yeah.
of the IMC won't do it.
Yeah.
Without work. Actually, I don't know. It might do it on CJR. Oh, one thing I have noticed.
Oh, GPU isn't plugged in properly. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Do you want me to mute you so you can cough properly?
There you go. I didn't unmute you. I realised that you did when you came
I
back,
did it myself, yeah.
but I didn't, and then I was just like, oops.
Yeah. Please rehot GPU, bro. No. No rehotting. Okay, we're going to leave this to run for a bit while we clean the other board. Are you okay? Like, if you need to cough properly, then cough properly, so then you've coughed.
No, I
Okay.
just couldn't cough properly.
Okay, fair enough.
And then did, and I was just like, I coughed.
It's one of those things when someone is trying to be polite to the camera, but because they're not coughing properly, they just do it for like 5 minutes. I'm like, just mute and cough properly to clear your throat.
I just cough.
Yeah.
But the problem is occasionally you get kind of in the thing where you're like, I can't actually quite cough properly.
Cool. Right.
It's not instantly dying.
I'm going to lob this thing on the floor, and we'll carry on cleaning out the grot box while we wait. Based on the fact that this hasn't immediately fallen over, I have a suspicion that I'm wrong about it being memory, and I don't think this is going to be memory. However, we'll leave it to run for a bit longer. Because it might fall over.
We might as well.
Yeah. So, right.
I'm going to remove that and that.
Yeah. And here we go. Oh, that's lighter than I thought it would be. Probably because the side panels are off. Oh no, the fan noise.
Yeah, that's why I said put it on the bench, on the stool.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to lay it down on the floor in a sec. I'm just conscious that it's got a spinning hard drive in it at the moment.
Oh yeah, I didn't take out the panel.
There we go. Yeah, I've just unplugged the hard drive, so we can be a bit rougher with it now.
I should re-microphone. 1 second. Hello again.
Ow. Where was the
CPU?
Okay.
CPU. I'll be honest and say one fan is probably fine.
Yeah. Now it has two. All right, there we go. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Sorry. Okay, right.
Cool. Where are
to
we
that.
up to with this?
Right, we are...
Were we trying to work out why it wasn't booting? No, it booted. We wanted to firm
yes.
up the GPU.
Yes, and also I want to rehot the CPU, and by rehot I mean repaste.
Fair enough. I'll let you do that then.
Very well. Right. Roger Hammer says, undo one more button on your shirt and then move the mic down slightly. And then Ewan Lewis says, yes, but slowly. I think it was probably fine. Oh, that CPU cooler might not have been on properly. Oh, that's some nice... Oh, yeah.
Are we going 80s?
You do you, boo. You do you, boo. This thermal paste is very, very cooked. I'm trying not to look. You're just... who was the dude from... who's the dude from Three Men and a Baby?
Ah! I nearly lost it down my shirt.
Can you stop failing? It was fine. And for anyone who says it's not fine, they can shush. Shut. All right. Demonetized.
It's okay,
right.
there were no nipples.
Male presenting. Okay, right.
See, with that... No,
Yeah.
no, never mind. Moving on. Moving on. So anyway, this Mac...
Oh, yeah, yeah. Do you want to look at that while I'm doing this? Because I'm...
Sure.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Caradog has a Mac that hasn't been turned on in 10,000 days and has a very old version of macOS.
Not quite 10,000, but 709.
Yes. All right, so...
It's still at 95%, so it's not completely shagged as a battery.
oh, yeah, this was the wildest thing.
Yeah.
can we can capture off of this just to show people the stats on this battery, because this battery has the wildest stats on it I've ever seen.
I mean, we can, but it's got names and stuff.
Oh yeah, it has, hasn't it? Yeah. No, ignore that. Yeah. Yeah. Caradog's got a family laptop here, which has been in storage for a while, and he now brought it in. He's like, "Can we upgrade macOS on this? Because it's got 10.9 on it, you know." And the battery, what was it? 23?
No, 10.5.
10.5?
Isn't that what I said?
No. 10.9.5.
Oh, 10.9.5, sorry, yeah.
However, this is a late 2012 Retina, so it's the first generation MacBook Pro Retina. And the battery had, what was it, 23 cycles?
Yeah.
23 cycles. So you would think sort of that battery is going to be turbo dead. No, the battery works just fine with 23 cycles on it, and it's 10 years old. 10 years old, 23 cycles, still working fine.
2 cycles a year.
The only way that we can rationalize that it has still worked is the fact that it's probably been in storage in sleep for probably several years, just very, very slowly trickle discharging, which has stopped the battery from dying.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation we can think of as to why this thing isn't turbo dead. It's wild. Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck was the guy I was thinking of. He's the kind of dude. He's the kind of 80s dude that would have his shirt open and that hairy chest on show.
Oh, okay. Very well. Upgrade to macOS Monterey.
Wow, really? I'm amazed that 10.9 is actually giving that option.
Get new FaceTime features, SharePlay, and live text.
Yeah. Also, though, that implies that this thing actually will run Monterey, which is quite impressive. So that being the case, let me just grab you...
I don't know. I'm looking at the...
Worth a try. There's the Monterey
Wait,
flash drive.
What? Oh my god. I think it can.
Yeah, if it's offering it to you. So yeah. So that's the Monterey drive. So if you plug that in, you should be able to do an inline update. Right. I, meanwhile, am cleaning up this fan.
So...
Magnum PI and his Ferrari. Hell yeah.
Do I just click it?
I never watched that. Yes, just double click that. And just see if you can run through that. So I've blown this out with an air duster. However, compressed air doesn't get everything, so we're just going to clean off the rest of this. So I'm just going to unclip this from the heatsink.
Oh.
This update cannot be installed on this computer. Wah. Yeah, not surprising. I would have been amazed if you could have done that.
But why did it offer it to me?
I'm surprised. Normally, macOS won't offer you an update that you're not eligible for. So yeah, okay, fine. In that case, dismount that drive and we'll plug in this one instead and go for Catalina.
How do I...
Yummy.
How do I close this? Because it only has a minimize.
You've got to cancel out of it. Oh yeah, install macOS. If you click install macOS and then quit macOS there you go. Yeah, that was a bit weird, but fine. Oh, you do that again because you hit the yes, I want to continue, not yes, I want to quit. There you go. Normally I would do this not on my desk, but I'm trying to show you guys the cleaning process on the camera.
I have now deleted your pen drive.
Thanks.
I have dragged it
I'm putting
into
smoker's
the
dust
trash.
all over my hand and the desk because I've got to show it on camera, bro. Copper slug.
So which one do I want?
Whose
Do I
idea was
want
this?
Catalina, High Sarah,
Hi, Sarah.
Mojave,
Oh,
Seria,
God. Stop it.
El Captain,
Stop it.
or use mate?
Yosemite. God. I had people come into my shop saying, oh, I need the Yosemite. Yosemite. Famous cartoon character named after a national park. And just and when the Mojave came out, it's Mojave, it's a desert, famous desert. Vegemite.
Mojave.
Yes.
The Mojave.
Anyway,
Which one do I want?
Catalina.
Catalina.
All right, I'm going to carry on dusting this boy out. And for everyone who's getting ready in the comments, we're not breathing in the dust. Don't breathe in the dust. Notice that it's a reverse bladed fan.
Ah, interesting. Catalina doesn't show this drive as being able to install to, but whatever the other one was did.
Yeah.
Monterey showed that pen drive as being installable.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, wait.
One
I have
thing
to
that is...
you have to click show all disks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're currently logged. There are currently other logged in users
Oh.
who must be signed in.
Click on the user in the top right. Oh, you've got a guest user in. So if you hit switch switch user.
I don't know the password for this account. How do we change the password for this user again?
You've never restarted this laptop, have you?
I haven't, no.
Yeah.
Because I've had it for like 5 days. And all I was doing for it was copying off some Word documents. That was it. So I didn't need to restart it.
Yeah.
But I saw that was the thing and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I must not let this run out of power.
Oh man, I really want to capture what we're doing here because it's really interesting because it's very representative of what IT people have to deal with, where we're in a situation where we have a laptop that we cannot reboot because it is logged in, but we don't know the password, and if we reboot it, we get locked out. However, on the flip side though, in order to change the password, we reboot it and we boot from the macOS drive anyway. So technically this doesn't matter, but it's just an interesting conundrum to be in where you cannot reboot it because you cannot log into it again. Like if we were doing data recovery, it would be mission critical not to let this thing shut down.
Yeah.
Because you'd get locked out of it. But I mean, you could do it in other ways, but it's an interesting conundrum to be in. Anyway, okay, right. So we need to change the password to something we know. So let's reset the password.
Hold on. Before we do that, how do I pull up that thing again where you said click here to do the thingy there?
Oh yeah, that, yeah. Are you going to take a couple of more guesses at the password? Yeah, because where it's a family laptop, we have some guesses as to what the password is. But yeah. Right, I'm going to try and catch up with the chat because I don't know what this is like for discussions today. We're kind of just doing stuff at the moment, and I don't know how interesting this is. PCs that sit on the ground, huge amount of dust build-up. Yeah. That's the big thing about, this is why I say to people it's better to put your desk up on your computer. Put your computer up on your desk if you can, because it will massively reduce the dust buildup. Let's see. At this point, I think you can chew on the dust. It's all weird powdery stuff.
I can't screw anything up by trying this password too many times, can I?
No. There is no maximum number of tries.
Because also we can just reset it.
That's right. In a moment, it might kick you out and say you've tried too many times, and then you just
Yeah.
click. You just try and authenticate again. So, let's see. AJ says, clean your house. Don't worry about the computer. Some houses are just really dusty houses, though.
I
and
have
it doesn't
one
matter.
room in my house that just vomits dust out the carpet.
Yeah. It just doesn't matter how often you clean the house. It's just
mad.
dusty.
Rest of the house, fine. That
Yeah.
one room, nah.
Yeah, so you're not wrong, but it doesn't always work that way. So, yeah. Yes and no. I do agree with what you're saying, though, is people do need to clean better. That is reasonable. And also, as Spud Nugget says, because aesthetics.
I'll be back in a second because I'm actually just going to phone.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Are you going to take one more try and see if they know it? Yeah, fair enough. Very well. Right, I'll give you guys a view of what I'm doing again. I'm putting the CPU cooler back on this thing. Grade listed house, everything is dusty. Yeah. Let's see. Bench cam. Right, so I've just put some thermal paste on this thing and I'm just putting the CPU cooler back on. I hate push pins. Oh, this doesn't feel very good. I'm going to put my hand behind it to support it. Has that gone through? Oh, I think I need to rearm the push pins. That's what I've done wrong. I've done videos about this. There we go. That's making the right noises now. Clickety click. CPU cooler back on. All right, now I'm gonna curl up this. I'm gonna twist it until it's got a nice spiral in it, and that will make it a little bit shorter, and it will also make it look a lot neater, and it will make it curl up and hug the cooler. Now we put that around like that. And plug you back in. Bam. There we go. Nice, neat wire. That looks good. Right, that's about all she wrote. I'm trying to decide if I can be bothered to take apart the old graphics card. I don't think we will. We'll test it just for posterity. Oh, have you got it? Oh, it feels good when you type in the password and it works, doesn't it? All right, so yeah, you need to switch to the guest account, switch to the guest account, log the guest account out, then switch back to the user account. So if you click on the username in the top right.
Oh, can I not just close this?
You should be able to.
Oh, there.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
That was unnecessarily slick.
Yeah. Right, now log this account off. So just hit the Apple menu in the top left and then log out. What happened to the graphics card power here? Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, if you log out, your files will be deleted. Hold on.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Hold on.
I can't believe you're actually having to check that, but yeah. Documents and downloads.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, no, there's nothing here.
That's all the normal stuff. Good.
Always worth checking. I'll tell the story again for those of you who haven't heard it before. I once had a customer come into my shop and they said, I restarted my computer and all of my data disappeared. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds a bit strange. And I said, okay, do you want to show me? And they had a MacBook Air, and they put the MacBook Air on the desk. They opened it up, they started it up, and it came up with the login screen. And I clicked on the username. I was like, oh, do you just want to enter your password? And they said, oh, we don't know that password. We just click on the guest account. Some of you will know where this story is now going. And I was like, oh no. So they click on the guest account, it logs in, and I'm like, when the guest account self-destructs when you log out, that's the point. A guest account, when you reboot the computer or you log out, it self-destructs. It's a one-time temporary use account that allows someone else to use your computer and leave no trace behind. And what had happened was they had been using the guest account for 6+ months, six months, a year, and they'd never rebooted it. They'd only ever closed the lid of the laptop and put the laptop to sleep. And this one time the laptop had crashed, so they'd had to restart it, and the guest account did what the guest account is designed to do and self-destructed, deleting all of their data. And I was like, no, we cannot recover this data. Woo! That was an awkward conversation. Right. Okay, so where are we up to with this? We're trying to get this thing to boot now, aren't we? It posts, but we couldn't get it to boot. So I'm just going to plug in.
Yeah, we couldn't get it to boot from memtest either.
Yeah.
Or the Windows installer.
We didn't try memtest on it.
Well, we tried the drive that we thought had memtest on it.
Yeah. We'll try the memtest drive on it, actually. So yeah, we'll just do that and see what it does. Right.
You will require to, yes, re-HDMI.
Yeah. Fun fact.
So we don't need to SMC reset this or anything like that, because we're just doing an inline update.
Correct.
As opposed to
yeah, we don't need to do anything don't need to do anything fancy there. Fun fact, if you're running memtest on a computer, once memtest has loaded, you can unplug the flash drive and it will continue to work.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because it's loaded into RAM. where it's loaded into like 24 kilobytes of RAM or something like that, and then you test the rest of the RAM.
True.
But yeah, so if you want to run memtest on multiple computers at the same time, you can do it with one flash drive. Right, HDMI into there.
Why would this HDMI fit in this USB slot?
There's the keyboard and mouse. There's the dongle. The donglees.
How do you get from dongle to John Cleese?
Does he wear spectacles? I really want to find that there was I think it was a Tumblr post. It made a joke about pronouncing a lot of famous Latin names with Greek pronunciation. So like normally you say a pair of spectacles, but instead you would pronounce them as taking off his spectacles or something like that. I can't remember the gist of it, but I really want to find it at some point. Anyway, I shall turn this thing back on.
Oh, I didn't pin it.
Did you have it or something?
Oh, I thought I pinned it.
Where on earth is the power button? Chat, guide my hand. Damn it. Okay, it's bang in the middle. Okay.
From has.
Right, this thing just switched on. It did post. We just had a post screen before I switched on the capture. All right, looks like this is dropping into memtest as well.
Has image. No, just has image. Scroll, scroll, scroll.
BIOS flash. Oh yeah, we should update the BIOS on these. We should update the BIOS on this as well, because that might just solve our problems. Let's see. The moral guest account is temporary. Yeah. Don't know if memtest is useful these days. Memtest passed 100% in your DDR5 system, but it failed miserably when playing games. Maybe, yeah. I don't think any diagnostic test it should be taken as gospel. Any kind of diagnostic test you run on a system is gathering more information. Because, for example, if memtest passes, that doesn't necessarily mean that the memory isn't faulty. But if memtest fails, you might have a faulty CPU, for example. But if memtest fails, then you swap out the RAM and it doesn't fail, that is fairly indicative that you probably have a bad memory module. So again, it's gathering information from which you draw a conclusion. Yeah, here we go. Just discovered the joy of pronouncing all words ending in cles, like Heracles, as, oh yes, obstacles, tentacles, motorcycles, testicles, microparticles, popsicles, debacles. Yes, that's the thing. I've seen a better version of that actually made reference.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the same joke though, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was after. Okay, this thing booted memtest, so it does boot and run stuff. And also it has booted the UEFI version of it. So this does boot and run UEFI stuff. So I'm going to stop that and try for the customer SSD again. And let's see if we can get this thing going. And also we need to get a BIOS for this to see if that solves our problem. So I shall turn it off.
Sorry.
Sensible chuckle. Right, we've got to stay focused. We actually have to try and achieve something instead of just dicking around with these computers. This SATA cable is not appropriate for where it is on the case.
Hello.
Firmware update. The macOS installers will run BIOS updates when installing, which is quite nice actually. If there's a newer BIOS available for the system, the macOS installer will install it while installing.
No, I have gone through 3 pages. I am not searching any further.
Very well.
I will find it later.
I'm going to take a really long time to plug in some SATA cables. Did you have the hard drive connected as well?
I had both plugged in.
Okay, yeah. just in case we've got another annoying system where all the boot data is on the hard drive, but the Windows files are on the SSD. Power on. Power on.
At the very least, we need to move the RAM if we're not putting more RAM in, just because it's in the wrong slots.
True. I mean, that's not preventing it from working at the moment.
No. But
it
just
is
a case
thing
of
that needs
if we
doing,
aren't doing anything else with the RAM.
Yeah. Okay, right. And we're back to EFI boot. So let's start seeing if we can diagnose this. That's not the right scene. There we go.
Hold on. Set it to legacy mode again in the BIOS.
Yeah, sure.
Just because that's what it was on. And we only changed it out of that to boot the red SSD.
We did reset the BIOS though, so we don't know if that was its original configuration or not. Let's see.
It's under boot. I just changed it under boot.
Oh yes, I didn't spot that. Yep. Right, boot. Let's go for legacy UEFI. So let's start with, oh my God. And also what's in, wait, a SanDisk and then, oh yeah.
And the hard drive, yeah.
Yeah. SanDisk first, then yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's try that. Bam.
It's done quite a few reboots, this.
Is that a Gerbil Bytes motherboard? No, it's an MSI. An operating system wasn't found. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we get this booting?
No, we didn't.
What did we run? No, we did.
Oh yeah, no, we got
Cinebench.
it. Yeah, we got it to start from. We got it to start from
Yeah,
the test
yeah.
SSD. So yeah,
So it did at least function in that capacity.
So it does start UEFI builds of Windows.
Yeah.
We just we don't know what's on that SSD.
The thing we
though.
need to do is see whether anything's on either of these drives next.
Yeah,
I guess.
let's try for the Windows 10 flash drive again.
Yeah.
Because if we can get to a recovery environment, we can start determining information.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to plug in the Windows 10 flash drive and see if it'll boot from that.
Time remaining 18 minutes. Look away. Look back. Time remaining 27 minutes.
Yeah. The Apple macOS installer progress bars have got a bit of a mind of their own. Hey, it's this screen again. I will wait this one out. Yep. However, it disappeared, but for a moment you could actually see the spinner behind all of that mess. Oh, I think I might have lied. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to wait a sec because that will probably come good. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm going to give it a moment. There you go. See? Told you. If you see a Windows boot screen do that, just give it a sec. There we go. See? Nothing wrong. Nothing the matter at all. No issues. So yes. Anyway. Okay, so we have a recovery environment. Let's have a quick look. So I'm gonna Shift F10 to get a command prompt. Let's just check that everything is detected, which it should be because we saw it in the BIOS. So let's do list disk in. Good. So we've. Oh, gross! It's a 60. That SSD is only 60 gigs. Wow, it probably is given the age of the computer. Actually.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's depressing. It's only a 64 gig SSD. Fine. 64 gig SSD. Right. C, dir. Okay, there's our Windows system. That is on C, D, dir, stuff.
Pictures.
Yeah, okay, so that's user data. Very well. Cool. I'm just going to scroll file names off of the screen. How can you tell it's non-GPT, Arnold? Oh, it told us in disk part, didn't it? List disk. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, disk part tells us that it's not GPT. Therefore, we can determine that this is a legacy install of Windows.
What does GPT stand for again?
It's the type of you either use.
I know what GPT is. I've forgotten what it stands for.
Yeah.
And I'm going, brain. Come on, give me letters.
What's it stand? It's going to be something partition table. General partition table.
GPT.
GUID partition table.
GUID partition table.
So what's?
Yeah.
Oh no,
it's a self-referencing initialism.
Yes, I understand what you said, and I just love that there is a term for that. So it's kind of like wine. Wine is not an emulator.
Yes.
Yeah, the self-referencing initialisms are really annoying. I dislike them. But
Although wine is not an initialism, wine is an acronym.
I don't want to have this conversation anymore. Anyway.
GPT is designed as an improvement to the MBR partitioning system. MBR has a 2.2 terabyte partition size limitation.
Anyway, this is supposed to be a legacy install, and it is not booting from it. So,
do we want to just manually set the legacy hard drive boot device as the first boot device in the BIOS?
I think that's what I'm going to do. I was very tempted to start doing a fixed boot on this.
Yes.
That's unpopular with folks in chat. However, it's worked for me before. However, I agree we'll just try manually setting the boot order first, because now we know what we actually have.
Yeah.
We can actually say, just try doing it this way, because we're 99% certain that's what it should do.
Yeah.
Fresh install on new SSD? No, it's way too early for that. Oh, I see. What, just to see if it starts? Yeah. Oh, I see where you're going, Arnold G. We could convert it to a UEFI install.
Yeah.
That's not a terrible idea.
I mean, it's worth doing in the end anyway.
Yeah.
Because...
yeah, we could do that. That can be done.
I'll do that in a second.
Yeah.
I'll change the boot device first.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just see if we can get it going first. And however, as an actual fix moving forward, that is a good solution.
Because it also just means if they move off of this board with this Windows install,
yes,
it's in a less confusing setup. Because then you could drop it onto a modern Ryzen board and it'd be fine, or a modern Intel board and it'd be fine.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So right, let's spoon feed it some boot information first. So we're going legacy,
and then change boot option 1 from UEFI hard disk to legacy hard disk, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, let's see. Hard disk, SanDisk, and I really hate BIOSes that just put a whole bloody laundry list in. I'm just going to disable everything. I really hate BIOSes that just give you a laundry list of every possible thing it can boot from. I'm just like, don't give it this much choice. Oh my God. I'm going to tell it to boot from the right place and nowhere else. I don't want you to try and boot from anywhere else unless I tell you to.
Yeah, although we'll want to add in...
We can change that afterwards, yeah. And SanDisk is set as the first boot.
Yeah, hold on, no,
drive.
go back. You set it to... Oh, yeah, you have set it
Yeah.
boot from SanDisk.
Yeah,
that's right.
So that one is actually boot from hard disk, and then in the hard disk BBS priorities, you have another priorities list.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that's a thing, personally, on BIOSes. I don't understand why they have a separate list for priorities within a boot option.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Because the problem with this is people might say sort of, oh, well, it gives the computer a better chance at auto recovering. It's like, well, it shouldn't be trying to boot from anywhere other than one place anyway. And if it is trying to boot from somewhere else, that's a problem.
Yeah, arguably the only things you should have on there is boot from USB, boot from hard drive.
Yeah, and in my opinion, or boot from optical drive perhaps, yeah. But in my opinion, if you want to do that, you should be hitting F11 for boot menu. You should only boot from another source deliberately when you tell it to. But yeah, this isn't. I mean, you know, I'm speaking.
It's not
as
a problem specifically, but it's a case of.
I'm talking as if this is best practice, but this is just my personal preference.
Yeah,
just to clarify. Save configuration and boot.
Certainly, a case of it helps massively avoid confusion.
We're at 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I've just suddenly realised that we're running kind of late and we haven't really done a lot, and I'm just like, Anyway. Right, try fix boot and stuff like that. Right, yeah, we're still not booting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back up this SSD first before we start dicking about with it. I do agree with doing a fix boot, but we're gonna back this thing up first, because it's a 60 gig SSD, so it's going to take like 2 minutes to back up, and then we've got the customer data backed up. I don't even know if there's any customer data on here worth having, but I should always assume there is. Ooh, gonna unplug those first. There we go. Could be worse. You just got out of a 2.5 hour business Zoom call. Oh, 2.5 hours.
On a Saturday.
Yeah, business meetings should only ever be up to an hour. If your business meeting is running for more than an hour, there's a problem. Because people can't focus for longer than that. Oh,
Yeah.
we had to do that when I was.
I'm quite aggressive at people who want to set up meetings with me, and I'm just like, can this meeting be an email?
Yeah,
Are you going to respect my time enough to have a meeting that isn't a 3-line email?
yeah. Yep,
And then see what their response is.
yeah.
And then basically I go, cool, can you email me the stuff you were going to tell me in the meeting anyway?
That's just it. If you're briefing me, then this can be an email.
Yeah.
If you need my input and to have a discussion on how to move forward, then that's a meeting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And it's like the number of meetings that people try and arrange, or like that have ended up being arranged, has gone from, I don't know, maybe 2 a week to maybe 1 every 2 months.
yeah, yeah. Because likewise, when I used to be organising, when I used to be doing convention organising, we used to have these epic long meetings, and by the end of the meeting, everyone is just, yeah, fine, whatever, because everyone's just frazzled.
Oh, we just tried to boot from it instead.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, okay, yeah. I need it plugged in so it detects it so I can back it up. There we go. However, yeah, and in the end, we had to set a time limit and just say the general meetings cannot be more than an hour long, because after an hour, everyone's brain is fried and no one can think straight.
Yeah.
I missed it. I was pressing the wrong key.
Also, I like that it's a capacity of 64 gig.
Oh, yeah. That kind of implies that it's not that old, that SSD as well, doesn't it? Because it looks fairly modern.
I'm not immediately spotting any dates on this.
Wow, this does not want to boot. Well, that Windows Boot Manager. That's what I want. There we go. You've had 3 meetings where I said that could have been an email this week. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do meetings with people. Let's see. Is there a key combo to get back to this type of BIOS and MSI boards? No. If you're on this design of, I don't think. Oh no, MSI do still use that layout. But yeah,
do we want to grab a BIOS update for this at the same time?
Can do. Yeah. We could do that while it's backing up. Actually, yeah. Let's see. Let me grab this flash drive. If you have got your computer stuck between advanced or basic BIOS modes, it's not a one-way trip. One of the BIOS keys should do it. Usually it's
often
F2.
F2.
Yeah, it's usually F2.
And occasionally there are 3 menus on the F2, which we discovered with that Gigabyte board.
Yeah. What's this motherboard?
It is an MSI Z87-G43.
-G43. Okay. Cookie choice. I don't give a damn. Naughty, naughty. Everything is on by default. It shouldn't be.
There's also no reject all button.
Yeah. Is that required as well, the reject all? Interesting.
It must be as easy to accept them as it is to reject them.
Yeah. That's one of the things that annoys me. I don't mind the cookie acceptance screens. What annoys me is that no one implements them properly. Because if they're implemented properly, it would be really easy to just say no.
Yeah.
Very frustrating.
I also sit on the other side of kind of going, you shouldn't need any. I'm going to view a page to download a file.
This is also true. You shouldn't need all the cookies in the first place, yes. Right, that... Are you a beta BIOS? No. There's a version 1A and a version 1B, and I'm like, is that a beta BIOS? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just a subversion.
There's a version 1.9 there.
Yeah. That's 2014.
But that's
2015.
1B is 2015. What?
I don't think that's beta. I think they're just using lettering for some reason. Oh, it's because they got up to 9 and they don't want to go over to version 2. They're using hexadecimal versions.
This is version FFFFFFFF.
Yeah, version BIOS final keyboard smash enter.
Final.
Yeah. Right. Okay. OBD file.
Imaged.
I'll delete that other BIOS file from there as well, just in case you accidentally try and flash a Z170p BIOS onto this thing. That'll be exciting. Hoop, go. Right, so
Oh,
if you
look. I've unlocked 6th gen support.
yeah, that's how that works, I'm pretty sure. Good, right, back up.
Whoop. Oh, yeah.
One. This thing's got two. Oh yeah, whatever. Not going.
Of course, it'll have 2 partitions on it.
Shouldn't do for a legacy installer Windows. Let's see. What am I going to call this? I'm going to call it not BTX. That's the name of this PC now. Disk.sna.
Update.
There we go.
Update.
Right.
Update.
The SSD is being backed up.
Update.
And, oh, you can't. Oh, people aren't seeing what's going on. Oh, no. That's the desktop. There we go. We are flashing.
Warning. So the file that's on here, this flash drive, is exactly the same one you'd use to program it in your programmer.
That's correct, yes.
So if this screwed up, you could just go
chip out,
programmer.
put it in the programmer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, however, if you program, if I flashed this image to it in a programmer, we would get what's generally known as a clean image, which doesn't have any serial number data in it or anything like that. So you'd lose, the motherboard would lose its serial number and that kind of thing.
So how does this...
However, there's for desktop motherboards, basically doesn't matter.
But how does this know what those are then to update and to flash the chip without replacing them?
When it does the internal BIOS update using, in this case, mFlash, mFlash will deliberately skip the sections where serial number data and stuff like that is stored. It will know where that data is and deliberately not update it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
However, when you do just a blind flash in a programmer, you're
writing every single part of it.
Precisely.
So
yeah.
when you flash with a programmer, you're not installing to the chip. You are bit for bit writing to the chip.
That's correct.
Without effectively knowing what's there.
Yeah.
You're effectively DDing.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas the built-in BIOS update on the system here, it has a general knowledge of what the layout of the BIOS is, and it knows what parts it's not supposed to update.
And it's a case of it will go from this file, grab this string, stick this bit here.
That's right.
Stuff. Right.
So now for desktop motherboards, it doesn't really matter because there's no useful information to lose. However,
wouldn't it affect MAC addresses in the same way?
No, because it depends. If you've got gigabit Ethernet, no. If you have Realtek Ethernet or something like that, maybe would have to check in with Arnold.
Oh, you mean Intel gigabit?
Well, Intel gigabit. Oh, yeah, sorry, Intel gigabit Ethernet. Yeah, I just said gigabit Ethernet. Yeah. If you have Intel Ethernet, it has a dedicated controller chip, and all the firmware is on that controller chip. This is a really interesting. It's doing a separate update for the ME section and stuff like that. Oh well. So yeah. Oh yeah. Intel GBE has the GBE region. Oh, my brain is kind of fried, and I'm not explaining this very well.
But yeah.
So thus far, I've not had any problems on the boards that I have updated.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
Yeah.
However, yeah, it depends.
So does that...
On laptops, though, laptops are a little bit different because there are certain laptops where they'll get really upset if the serial data and stuff like that is being cleared. For example, HP laptops will not start and run cleanly if the serial number and asset tag and stuff like that is not entered. They will drop into a sort of a pre-build mode where it'll be throwing up warning messages and saying you need to program in the serial number of this. This is in factory mode kind of thing, etc. So yeah, however, desktop motherboards, on numerous desktop motherboards, I have been able to just blind flash onto them without any problems. Has that just finished?
No.
Oh, god damn it. Oh well. So yes, you can rewrite in my flash tool. Yeah, stuff like that. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Right, well, we're getting somewhere now. Okay, so it's tried to boot from the... Yeah, okay, I think the boot data is on... There's something on the hard drive because the hard drive was connected when Windows was installed. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we've got our BIOS update. This has not been backing up in the background. Also, this SSD is backing up at a absolutely earth-shattering 420 megabytes per minute, which is a bit concerning. I think this SSD might be shagged.
The BIOS looks no different.
Not surprising, it was a fairly modern-looking BIOS already.
Yeah.
So yeah. I got a horrible feeling this SSD is mullered, which is a bit disappointing because I can't do anything until I have a backup of the data.
Indeed, we'll have to leave that.
Yeah, I think that's us done with this PC for the time being, because yeah, we can't continue without a backup.
Yeah.
So
where's the GPU that came out of this? Now that we've got this reliably posting,
yeah,
we should swap back again.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just to absolutely categorically go
if we plug,
dead.
If we plug this in and it's stone dead, then we can say that the graphics card is dead.
Yeah.
So yeah. Fresh install UEFI SSD. That is a thing we could do, yes. However...
Oh, you put a screw in.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Were you sitting there going, oh! Yeah. Yeah, we won't do that right now, Arnold, just because that's not terribly entertaining to do on stream. Not that any of this stream has been entertaining, to be honest, but what we're going to do,
I disagree.
Fair enough. Well, what do people think? Like, I feel I'm having a flap day where I'm just not really at ease. But yeah, I don't know. Have people been enjoying just this rather dry troubleshooting?
Also, as you said last time, people watch live streams for the vibe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fair enough. Anyway, yeah. So we'll test this GPU. Then...
Oh God, it's got dual DVI.
Yeah.
Dual mini DisplayPort.
Oh yeah.
And HDMI.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, right. Confirm the GPU is dead.
Oh, the fan span.
Yeah, it's been doing that. I think it is a stop-start fan.
But like full spin, not just
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's something.
Oh, there we go. There's the stripes.
Oh yeah, it's memory.
Yeah.
Spud will tell us which memory chips it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, ironically, that's a very similar issue as to what the 980, the 280X that I'm trying to fix has got. I've got a 280.
Spud, which memory chips are those?
Yeah, I've got a 280X over there that's got this exact fault, and I've actually got some new VRAM chips to try and fit to it. No, we're not doing that live on stream because I need to preheat the card and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing this on camera. I'm not doing this on stream. I'm not brave enough. But yeah, I am recording it though. Anyway, yeah, that graphics card is screwed. No doubts about it. Okay, yeah. So the chap needs a new graphics card. The SSD, oh, this has picked up speed now. It's sorting itself up. We're up to 3,500 megs per minute and rising.
That's better.
I think that might have been doing that because it was stalled on the do you want to make this folder for a while. Because that sometimes upsets
yeah, because it counts that as time the driver's been transferring.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's sorted itself out. Good, okay, so that SSD is not knackered. That's only going to take another that's going to be another 3 minutes.
That's fine.
What's the timer at? We're, 2:43. I think we're shooting for a 3-hour stream today. So, okay, so this graphics card is knackered. Let's swap back to the Fractal and see what the mem test on that has done. I don't think we're going to make any real progress with the Fractal today because that needs more time.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, we have completely cracked this one now. He needs a new GPU, and the Windows install, that needs to be backed up. We're going to do a clean, we've backed up the SSD, then what we do next is we wipe the SSD and we do a clean UEFI install of Windows on it.
Without the hard drive plugged in.
Without the hard drive plugged in. Then we restore just the Windows partition from the backup onto the UEFI prepped install. And that converts the existing install to a UEFI install.
Will it go across just because that partition will be smaller?
We can resize partitions and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. You can do that after.
Yes.
Cool.
That will just take care of itself, basically.
Yeah, that's fine.
In the majority of cases, but that's going in, that gets into the weeds.
Yeah, but the simple answer
then
is
in
yes,
addition
that will
to
sort
that,
itself out. Fine.
because of this blue screen we're looking at here, we also believe that there is boot data on the hard drive. There's some boot data there. This was because the hard drive was plugged in when Windows was installed. So the Windows installer puts some of the boot data on the hard drive. It's just a really frustrating thing that Windows does. So what we also need to do is we need to back up the hard drive, format that, and then restore the data to it to clear that boot data from that hard drive, because there shouldn't be any boot data on the hard drive. So that's all the things that needs to be done with this computer. We don't have time to do all of that on stream today, but we have successfully diagnosed what needs to be done with this system. So what I'll do is I'll start doing this stuff because I can. However, I need to next call the customer and say, this is what we have discovered. This is what needs to be done. This is how much it will cost. Would you like to continue?
Yeah.
And I'll charge £50 labour for just straightening the computer out, plus whatever I think the value of this 960 is, which is probably not a lot right now. I don't know what
100 and something.
Oh, you'll be lucky.
Have they actually come back down in
They're
price
crashing.
now?
Yeah, 970s are like 60 or 70 quid.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good.
I'd probably be looking for 50 quid.
Oh, that's good.
What do you think, people? 50 quid for a 962 gig?
I didn't realise the prices had actually normalised on second-hand stuff now.
They're certainly on their way. Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
He can use the PC without the GPU. Yeah, but you can't game on that, and it's a gaming computer. He wants to play games on it. So that's not really a solution. However, you are correct. It does have onboard video. So if it was just a desktop computer, you could just use the onboard graphics. But we do need some gaming stuff. So yeah. Let's see. There's no place that sells a 960 for $50. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to look now. I'm curious. This is just completed. Right,
Excellent.
okay. Are we going to swap into the... We're going to put the fractal back on the desk
Sure.
and just see what...
I
I'll
was
just
going to
plug into
pull
the
out
back.
this GPU.
Yep.
I was going to swap over the RAM, just so it was in the right slots.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'm going to plug the HDMI back into the fractal.
Yeah. However, at least this GPU semi-functions.
Yeah.
So a case of, I don't know, if you wanted a second one for doing memory chip replacement.
No, not really.
Well, only
Yeah.
because you were saying that you were considering doing memory chip replacement.
I'm doing it on the 280.
as a thing to learn.
Yeah, I suppose it would be another thing to test with.
That's what I'm saying. It's just another card you can test.
Yeah, you know what? That's a
Learn
good
the
point.
skill with.
Yeah, I'll throw... I've got a box of broken graphics cards to practice on, but on the other hand, it's a graphics card that has a known fault, which is
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Nothing
agree
else
with
in
that.
it appears to be broken.
Yeah,
Kind of
this thing has managed to do a full clear on mem tests, so whatever its issue
Excellent.
is, it's not memory.
Cool. We need we need a BIOS update for it.
Yeah, okay, we'll BIOS update it. I think this computer is going to have a software problem because the original fault description is that it's blue screening.
Yeah. The issue we were also having is we couldn't get it to boot from the Windows 10 drive.
This is also true, yeah. Okay,
Which is
so
why I'm saying
yeah, we could take
we'll do
another
a
swing at
BIOS
that.
update as well.
Yeah, I agree.
And that just ticks off another box as well. So that's fine.
Yeah. 960, 40 quid max. Yeah. I'm gonna confirm that. I do agree it might just end up being 40 quid. We'll find out in a sec. Come on, Chrome. eBay. GTX 960 to...
Did you blow out the power supply?
I did, but it was difficult to clear. It's smoker's dust.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, smoker's dust is clingy.
Where do you want me to put this? Should I just...
Oh, anywhere, just on the floor. Yeah.
It's fine.
In a hedge. Right, let's see. So,
Can't park there, mate.
waiting for a mate. Why have you suddenly gotten back into the waiting for a mate meme?
No, not waiting for a mate. You can't park there, mate.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Because
no, that's the Ferrari one, isn't it? Although,
Which is just
whatever
like
it was.
in a tree.
Yeah, yeah. Ignore me. Right, sold items.
Only because I saw it again recently. It was just like, huh.
Yeah. Right, so on eBay, yeah, 40 for sold items. So this is what people actually paid, not what people are asking for. £43, 55, 56, 50, 31, 52. Yeah, so 40 to £50. Because yeah, so I could, yeah, I guess I could do it for 40 quid and just be a bro. It depends on how much I want to, how much money I'm trying to get out of this chap, and I'm not the kind of guy to try and screw someone for as much as I think I can get away with. So I'll probably do him 40 quid on it. 50 to 80 for a 960. If it was a 4 gig, yeah, but it's a 2 gig. Oh yeah, Yate reckons 50 quid for a recon plus some kind of warranty is a really good deal. Yeah, I guess I could do 50 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus also just like there are some that are going for 30 and 40 on eBay, but that's for people who have got their finger on the trigger, and that's for the Chris's who are getting them at that price. Everyone else is paying 50 to 60. So yeah. Oh, you want a BIOS, don't you? Yep.
What is the Vive pen drive?
That is MacOS.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's got the latest MacOS on it. Monterey, that's the one. Yeah.
Where do you want it?
On the bench will do. Just lob it over there, or you could hang it up if you wanted. Okay, right. I am now looking for an MSI B350 Tomahawk. It was just. Oh, was it a Tomahawk or a Tomahawk Plus?
I don't know.
Tomahawk Vanilla. B350 Tomahawk. Le BIOS. Yeah. There's a BIOS from 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beta BIOS.
There should be another one coming soonish.
Yeah. Improve intermittent performance stuttering issue. That looks tasty.
Oh, yeah. That
Yeah.
will possibly be the USB issue as well.
Yeah. Also changes the default setting of secure boot. So that's the Windows 11 update.
Yeah. Double check on
one-
the compatibility list for the CPUs.
Oh, yeah.
Just to double check it doesn't
Might have dropped
first gen support.
Yeah. It says it removes Bristol Ridge APUs, but I'll check.
Don't care about that.
Yeah, obviously, but that's all they say. Let's roll back. I love that. The previous BIOS from 2019 improved compatibility with Bristol, and then the one after that removed Bristol completely.
Yeah.
I bet the BIOS engineers loved that. They spent all that time working on compatibility for the APUs, and then they're like, oh yeah, the new version, just bin it all. But improve SATA hot plug. Improve compatibility for the Athlon 200 GE.
Woohoo!
I don't see anything that removes Ryzen 1000
Yeah.
support.
I would just double check the actual CPU support list.
Yeah, that's a good
And
point.
see if the CPU
Yeah.
support list says this BIOS version, that BIOS version.
Yeah. Right, Ryzen.
5000 latest beta BIOS. Nice.
God, there's too many goddamn AM4 CPUs.
Yeah.
1700X.
Yeah. Okay.
That's close enough, and that is.
Yeah, these are the ones that add support.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we can try it. The worst thing that happens is we reflash it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, yeah, let's just YOLO this. Let's YOLO this and stick the beta BIOS on there. Because it's going to get tested before it goes out anyway, due to the nature of the fault it has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, if we had fixed everything up at this point and we were just like, yeah, this computer is done and it's going to be picked up on Tuesday, I'd be like, hell no, we're not putting a beta BIOS on that.
Yeah.
However, this thing is going to need burn testing and stuff anyway because it has some other fault. So, yeah, we can absolutely risk a beta BIOS, and if it goes pear-shaped, we'll see that before it goes out. I'm going to stick that in a USB 2 port because you never know. Kimbo, am I expecting you home within the next 15 minutes or no? Not in 15 minutes, no. What's the timer up to? Yeah, we're about to finish up, but the just time taken. Why? What are your thoughts? Are you about to start a thing, Kimbo? Are you about to start something and you need me immediately? I will be home, but if you want, I'm not going to be home in 15 minutes though. I'm probably going to be like half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. At 8, I would be. Okay, we're just coming up to 7. It's up to you. I'll probably be about half an hour because we're going to be finishing up in the next 10 or 15 minutes, and then it will take us 10 or 15 minutes just to turn everything off.
Oh. Oh no, SanDisk is the one we want.
Indeed. BIOS is updating. Oh, I forgot to change it again. Damn it. We keep not showing the bit where you actually set up the BIOS update and then just showing the
black screen now.
Yeah. Was it on the install or something?
Well, it was doing the install and now it's on the black screen.
Yeah, it's probably just doing a reboot. Also, though, just try. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so why does moving the trackpad not bring the screen back to life?
I don't know. It should have. However, this is why when waking up computers, I always hit Shift or Control, because that's a keyboard input that doesn't do anything except wake the computer. If you're ever doing computer repairs, never ever wake up a computer with space or enter, however tempting it is, because you might just have focus on the cancel button for whatever you left it doing, and you press space or enter to wake the computer up and immediately cancel the progress bar you've been sitting on for an hour. Graham's in the doghouse. No, I'm not. We're just organising. Hello, PNF. How's it going? We are BIOS updating stuff because we got. I don't know why these computers. Well, to be honest, it doesn't surprise me when like Haswell and older stuff gives you weird boot issues just because it's old. But I'm surprised we're having boot issues on this system. I don't know why that is not booting, and it bothers me. It's a bit weird. Oh, you're all right, Sleepwalker. Don't worry about it. Doo-doo. And also from earlier on, Daniel Booz confirms only A series Nathlon was removed. Yeah, that's fine. There was certainly some motherboards that dropped first generation Ryzen to fit on 5th, I think, wasn't there?
I think so, yeah.
I think it was just a couple of boards though.
I don't specifically recall, but it was just a comment.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh yeah, just quickly double check there isn't.
Unless I think there was word that was going to happen. Unless they just found that after they axed all of the APUs, they found space to stick on 5000 support. What's up, John Doe? How's it going? Low-end junk APU stuff, pretty much, and probably the Athlon 200 GE maybe. I don't know if that survived the cull. It didn't deserve to, but it might have, just because the Athlon 200 GE is technically a modern CPU.
So where is update gone now?
It's software update, bottom left.
Oh, right. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so you can take the Big Sur update, so I would do that. The only reason why we didn't install Big Sur is I don't actually have that on any of my drives at the moment. Big Sur was on the flash drive, but I've updated the flash drive to Monterey, but I've not put Big Sur onto that flash drive yet. Ooh,
No.
Fine. Oh, we don't need that for the App Store.
No, I was just
right,
signing
yes.
into iTunes anyway, because I know the password.
Ah, yes, very good. Yep. Cool.
Because I took both passwords. I don't want the arcade. How do I not agree to the arcade?
What's new from the App Store arcade? You're not continuing, you're just saying, yes, I will use the App Store kind of thing. So yeah.
That is not written in a clear fashion.
Yeah. The App Store includes Arcade, so you are just agreeing to all of the above kind of thing.
But Arcade is a subscription service.
Yeah, kind of. I didn't read it.
The
exactly,
Apple Arcade
but
thing is a subscription service to give you 100 games on mobile.
Yes, but it is also included in the App Store, and what that message was welcome to the App Store, including the home of the Apple Arcade. Do you agree to our terms of service for providing the storefront for these services?
Then perhaps that's what they should have written.
In the exact wording that I used, yeah. Waking up a PC and accidentally pressing enter when it's asking to format C. Exactly. Ask me how I know. That MacBook Max is Catalina. It is not, because it's offering us the Big Sur update.
How do I undelete this? Very well.
Bloody youths. I don't know how much of that came across on the mics, but there were some kids outside on their little scooters, and then a motorcyclist went by, redlined his engine to show off in front of the kids, and the kids were like, "Fucking hell, mate, innit?" and then toodle off on their scooters. Meanwhile, in England...
By scooter we mean the thing you power by foot.
Yes, like the ride-on scooter, not like an actual moped scooter.
Yes. How do I undelete this?
I'm very... Right, just drag it to the desktop or something.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Right, okay, hang on a sec.
Cool.
We're still in control of this stream, and we're going to not give you a black screen now. I was very distracted by motorcyclists. Anyway. Right. Would you want to stay away from beta BIOSes as opposed to normal practice? Yeah, so my policy, I've done this speech before, but I'll do it again anyway, is beta BIOSes can cause major issues. You can have massive stability issues. And so as a general rule of thumb, I always say don't use a beta BIOS unless it specifically has a feature that you need. For example, some motherboards, they had a beta BIOS that added in very, very late life support. So case in point, a lot of, say, X299, there are some X299 boards that have M.2 slots on them, but don't support...
X99.
X9, oh, okay.
X299 supported M.2 boot.
Oh, fine.
Because X299 came out like 4 years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
X99 boards that had M.2 slots but didn't support booting from NVMe drives as standard. And they often got a late life BIOS update that allowed them to boot from NVMe drives, but these were often beta BIOSes. Now, sometimes the beta BIOS just basically means it hasn't had a lot of testing. They just slapped in the support and said, we can't be bothered to test this because it's a dead-end motherboard. Just stick it out there with the beta BIOS badge on it. And that probably works fine. However, I've also used beta BIOSes before where after putting the beta BIOS on the motherboard was all over the place in terms of compatibility or in terms of reliability. So if it's your computer and you're willing to run the risk of running beta stuff, then absolutely do it. Or if you've got the knowledge on how to recover it, if it bricks itself, then you can run that. But production computers and other people's computers, never put on a beta BIOS unless you specifically know that it's going to be okay, or it has something that the customer has said, I need this, there is a BIOS update that allows me to do this, I'm willing to accept the risk. But yeah, I've seen beta BIOSes that are just all over the place. So they can and will... What was... Oh, it was updating, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
They can
flashing.
and will be screwy.
Ah!
Ooh, shiny new BIOS.
That's better.
So yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the thing. You just got a bunch of stuff from an old man who'll be moving soon. Testing a bunch of old garbage right now. Fair enough. A Thompson TO8D. What's that? I don't know what a Thomson T08D is. Where do you get your macOS system to download? You've got to Google search around to find them. There are still App Store links if you Google search for them. However, it's very difficult to find good download links from Windows because a lot of the old stuff is links through to the hidden App Store links. And if you're on a Mac, that's very easy because you can just open the App Store link. If you're on Windows, it can be very awkward to find reliable downloads for macOS. I am actually planning on digging all of this out. I've been threatening to make a video about making macOS boot drives for a while. It's on my to-do list, which I shall be doing soon because I actually need to remake my own one.
Where's the Windows 10 flash drive?
Whoop. Right, so we're now going to try and see if this will boot from there. Yeah, because previously we couldn't get this thing to boot from anything, so we're now going to test that.
And we have no drives plugged in. But that one, yeah, that's fine.
You tend to put beta BIOS builds along with Windows Insider builds. Yeah, iffy. Yeah, same deal. 9 times out of 10, Windows Insider builds are fine. But every now and then, you might have a bad one. And it does happen. Or just every now and then, it might be screwy. Even though the build was fine, it just didn't install properly because Insider and stuff like that.
Or just compatibility with your configuration.
Yeah.
That booted absolutely fine, not a problem.
Good. That looks promising. Shall we plug the customer drives back in and just see if it starts booting?
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. Whoop. Right, I'm going to switch to there with capture. There we go. Right, what are we doing over here? We got the BIOS update. Good. Okay, that got done.
Right.
Apple put up to the
Oh my goodness.
up to the post 10.8 installs on their website. Their remote boot.
Stay?
That's fair enough. Yeah, I think the newer ones are easier to find. Yeah, I think it is the older ones that are tricky. I forget now. See, I've never had too much of a problem with it because I've got all of the macOS versions that have ever been on the App Store. I have purchased on my Apple account because I used to daily drive Macs. So I've got all of them unlocked on my App Store account. So whenever I need them, I can just go to my purchase history and they appear in my purchase history. But if you don't have that, it's very difficult to find them, which is the annoying thing. OpenCore has a utility for downloading all versions from Mac, Windows and Linux. Yeah, I need to have another look at OpenCore because I started to use it recently and I found that OpenCore was really confusing. Granted, I was looking at it on macOS, but I was trying to look into OpenCore as a means to forcibly because I wanted to try and forcibly install Monterey on my 2014 that won't take Monterey. And I just found OpenCore to be horribly confusing. Quite frankly, it was not very user-friendly. So yeah. But I'm sure it's doable once I've done it. But yeah, just at first glance, I was like, why is this difficult? Why do I need a guide to use this, you know? So yeah. This fractal case is going for more than £100. Yeah, fractals are expensive. They're good. They're nice cases, but I think they are overpriced. But yes.
This PC arguably needs rebuilding into this case.
Yeah, I
just
think
because there is everything everywhere.
Yeah, I mean the whole computer wants a good cleaning up. I think we're just going to make good on it, but I'm waiting to see if the customer wants to rehouse it. I think the customer should rehouse this because yes, it is a fractal and yes, it's nice, but also it's quite a beaten up fractal. This case is not, I mean, it's not in bad condition, but it's not in good condition either. And I just think rehousing this would give it a new lease of life personally. But on the other hand, I'm also biased because I'll be honest with you, I don't like fractal defines. I think they're too big for what they do. They're too big and heavy for the amount of utility they actually have. So yeah, I'm not going to say I don't like fractals because I have a torrent at home. But on the flip side, I wouldn't buy the torrent again either. I don't dislike my torrent, but I wouldn't purchase it again. It's cool, it's okay, but that's kind of it. It's okay, you know? But yeah. If I had a grand, what laptop would I buy? It would be a really difficult toss-up between a Dell XPS and a framework. I think the XPS would be better bang for buck because if there's an XPS 13 with discrete graphics, that would be the best bang for buck. But also I don't game on my laptop, so I don't care about graphics. But if I'm spending a four-figure sum of money, I expect it to have some graphics capability because you can buy gaming laptops for a grand. So therefore, it's not reasonable to get a laptop for a grand that doesn't have gaming capability.
Where's boot? There's boot.
So yeah, I really kind of want a framework. I just don't need one. So yeah, right. That went into BIOS straight away, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just seeing what it does now.
Yeah. I think this is going to have legacy Windows on it as well. No.
How do I view what drives are connected?
If you go...
Right.
Integrated peripherals. And then SATA. Oh, there's... Okay. Normally in this area there will be a SATA page which would show you what drives are connected. It's not on system status, is it? Just the first page. Yeah, there you go. SATA port. Yeah, so it is seeing both drives. Have you tried it on... Are we on UEFI and legacy?
Yeah.
Okay, go back to boot again. Okay, so let's change boot option 1 and try just changing that to hard disk then. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good setup for just a blind. If this doesn't start now, I'm going to be very, very perplexed. I'm kind of going to be a little bit annoyed that neither of these computers would boot when they should have. Let's see. Do I have any Bitfinex cases with sticky surfaces? I don't have any of them at the moment, but I have encountered them before. I hate Bitfinex cases. They're horrible things. Okay, we're moving the SSD to a different SATA port. See if that makes any difference. It was already in AHCI. Huh. Well, this is a heckin' pain in the ass. Secure boot off. Could be. Yeah, we'll have a look at those in a moment. Hello, Si, how you doing?
Where's that security?
Yeah, trusted computing. No, that's all just TPM. Let's see. I don't see a secure boot option, actually. Is it just me, or is just half the options you'd expect to see here missing? Just check over in the advanced menu a sec. Oh, hello. Why is this here? Okay, let's do that and make sure that UEFI is still enabled as well.
That is.
Yeah, go back to the boot and make sure the boot is enabled in.
That was UEFI only. UEFI only.
Okay,
It has to be.
Yeah, let's try that. That's a really dumb layout for those options. MSI is messy. Yeah, that was really bizarre that they had CSM and UEFI buried away in a different menu to the boot menu. That makes no sense at all.
No.
Yeah. Balls. Okay, well, that's a mystery for another day, unfortunately. I've got I think this is going in the direction of rebuilding the Windows drive as well. Back up the SSD, clean install Windows, restore the Windows partition, because there's probably a way of figuring this out and solving it. But when you're repairing computers, you have to balance solving the problem versus a solution that I know is going to work. And the amount of time it will take to figure this out, we could just rebuild Windows. So yeah.
There we go.
Oh, what was that? What did you change?
I changed it back to the UEFI boot. Sorry, the CSM UEFI legacy. What's it? Cool.
Fine. All right, we have a booting Windows. Okay, that's fine. So the next thing, okay, so what I wanted to do today was to get it onto our test drive and then hit it with a load and start testing if it was a graphics card problem or something like that. However, we have run out of time. So we're not going to be able to start doing this now because we're very much at the 3 hours mark and I'm not thinking straight, if I'm honest. So yeah. Opera on preferred legacy first glitch. Yeah. Something along those lines. Very well. Right. Crazyo said, have you ever had to repair a computer for any sizable YouTubers or streamers before? I did have a streamer computer come in for repair. I was going to make a video about it. They had just ordered and bought a very expensive stream computer that was all singing, all dancing, all the RGB and all the rest of it from a system builder, and it was not booting on it when it arrived, and the system builder called me up and said, oh, you know, it's cheaper for them to bring it to you than it is to send it back to me. Can you sort it out and then bill me, kind of thing? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. You know, obviously something happened in transit, and yada yada yada. And I was going to do a video on it. However, when I actually started looking at the computer, it was so badly built that I was like, it put me in a very awkward position because part of me was just like, this is atrocious, and there was a lot of really bad stuff that needed to be fixed on the build. Yeah. It had an EK AIO on it that was just completely not fitted properly. It was not screwed on properly. It was literally falling off, and it was very much a case of how did you f this up, you know? However,
oh yeah, they'd used the Intel mount, hadn't they?
No, they just hadn't screwed the mounting. They hadn't screwed the mounting plates on with the correct screws, so they were just loose.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
The screws had completely the wrong thread, so it would just pull off. So the problem was, it was a case of I couldn't make a video about it without basically putting the builder on blast, and I didn't really want to put the builder on blast.
There we go. The hard disks actually appeared on the boot menu now.
Oh yeah, okay.
But yes, it's a legacy install.
Fine. Okay, so that.
So if you wanted to spend the time, rebuild it, move it off of legacy, because you shouldn't be on legacy on a. Why does B350 have legacy enabled by default?
Don't know.
Why would any Ryzen board have legacy enabled by default?
Yeah, agreed. Don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, as I say, that was a very expensive. That was I believe that particular streamer had a reasonable following, but it wasn't a streamer that I was particularly interested in. Otherwise, I would have been trying to network with them in some way. I would have been trying to sort of do a bit of a oh hey, you know, we fixed your computer up. Maybe we could do some cross promotion here. But yeah, I have to admit, I wasn't particularly enamored by the streamer. They seemed to be a fairly generic Twitch streamer that I didn't much care for. and the build was a mess, so I couldn't make a video about it without putting the builder on blast, which I didn't want to do for professional reasons. And so I was like, this is a really interesting computer that I can't really do anything with. So it's an interesting story, but it was very disappointing because I couldn't get any content out of it at all.
Yeah.
Because of situations. So yeah.
But yeah, that build was a mess.
Yeah. It was yeah, I did say to the client, the streamer in question, I did say to them, I said, just as an FYI, this thing had some pretty rough edges on it. If you need any help with it, I would recommend bringing it here. You know, that's all I'll say, kind of thing. Yeah. I'm not going to sit and badmouth your system builder. Suffice to say, I would not buy another computer from them if I were you.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah. Anyway, right, I think we're about done. So, so both of the computers are in the same boat now where they need Windows to be rebuilt into a UEFI build, not out of necessity, but just you should be using a UEFI install of Windows for posterity. This also needs further testing. We still don't know what's actually wrong with it. All we know is that it's not the RAM. It might just be a software fault. However, you know, other hardware issues that can cause blue screening, maybe the power supply, maybe the GPU. So those are both things that need testing. I don't think it's going to be the power supply because it's an RM550X, which has got enough watts for this spec, and I trust an RM550X not to fall over. However, obviously, if we can't figure out what's wrong with it, that will be a contender for something that could cause blue screening. But the GPU is definitely the next suspect. I should check that the CPU is actually getting cooled as well. It was fine in memtest, which does apply heat to the CPU, but I wouldn't call memtest a stress test either.
Side cutters here?
No, but there's some right here. There you go.
Thanks. Ah, different ones.
So yes, your way to activate Windows 10 via Windows 7 Legacy. Yeah. I'm amazed you can still be bothered to do that, Arnold G. It's so much ball ache to do that these days. That's how I used to do it, but yeah. Anyway, but yes. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Right, yeah, we're going to wrap up and we're going to jet. So, yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. And see you on everyone who's saying goodbyes as well. Then wipe and reinstall as GPT Win 10 for the auto-activate. Oh, yeah, yeah. Again, that's an awful lot of work for what a £3 Windows 10 Pro key could do.
Or just typing in the Windows 7 key into Windows 10.
Yeah, presuming you're doing a cracked version of Windows 7 though.
Yeah, yeah. Or just typing in a Windows 7 key.
Yeah, Windows 7 keys are also hilariously easy to find from your breaker pile 9 times out of 10. I think I've robbed all the ones out of my breaker pile, but at any given time, every time I'm throwing out a computer with Windows 7 on it, I take a picture of the COA sticker, the product key sticker on my phone. And so whenever I need to activate a computer, or if a mate says, oh, my Windows isn't activated, if I open my phone and just go through my pictures, I'll probably have a Windows 10 key there, or a Windows 7 key that they can use. So yes, right. That's it. We're going to jet because we've run over. We're 3 hours and 20 minutes. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope this was kind of interesting. Progress was a bit slower than I anticipated, but also we hit a lot of weird issues that were just weird things that were nothing to do with the fault that we were trying to fix. But that's also very representative of fixing computers. It's a lot of your time can be spent chasing useless faults that are nothing to do with what's actually wrong with the computer. Both of these systems, we had issues getting them to boot. Boot problems are not what these computers are in for. So it's just like a colossal waste of everyone's time.
But also at the same time, they had boot issues. The client didn't mention they had horrific boot issues. What? Yeah,
maybe the client just didn't say. And if I'd actually called the client and say, hey, this thing's not starting, they would have been like, oh, yeah, no, it doesn't start. And I'm like, would have been nice to know that when you brought it in, you know.
Yeah. Also, this RGB stuff needs sorting. The power cables need relaying out.
I'll have a look through all of that.
It's just a bit of a mess. Yeah. No, I mean, this area just needs tidying.
We spent too long on the tool boy. Oh, yeah, we spent like an hour looking at the Lianli. Yeah. Oh, well.
Anyway.
Well, we're going to spend another hour looking at the Laney next week because we're going to build in it, is what I think.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm going to hit stop streaming now. Thanks everyone for tuning in. See you all soon. See you next week. Thanks for super chats. Thanks for subs. Thanks for all the things. Thank you for your support. Anyway, end stream.
And of course, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Goodbye.
We appreciate your. We've enjoyed this conversation in English.